Okay, hello, Bonafide. Good evening. I'm sorry, I forgot you're not in the same country. Hello, Pi Shield. Can everybody hear me? Okay. I don't know what's going on, but I think okay, Pi Shield. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're very audible, my brother.
All right, no problem. Okay, so yeah, I I don't know. I didn't want to moderate and I didn't want to. So can anybody start so that because I can't find Baron right now. I don't know
Yeah,
where he is.
Hey guys,
yeah.
So the thing here is, yeah.
who is
Okay.
who is
Hello, Bonafide. Good evening.
who is Baron Chai Maker or Chi Maker?
I think he will be
Yeah,
with us
I,
even a little short of while soon. Actually, we were actually talking about the value and the possibilities of trade that are being carried out in the ecosystem. You understand? So before Baron can join us up, at least we can have a little deliberations about a little misunderstanding on the topic. Actually, hello, can you hear me?
yeah, sure. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, let me share my thoughts about it. Because until now, nobody, only the Pico team can add the liquidity or value to the pie that we have right now. We can't do anything right now. Everybody knows that the pie is closed. I wonder why it's still closed. For example, I'll give you a scenario. Okay, I'll sell my car for, let's say, 5,000 pi, right? The value of the car is, let's say, $10,000, right? Kia, I'll sell it to Pi Shield for 5,000 pi. I bought it for $10,000 cash. So he paid me pi 5,000, right? You guys understanding me?
Yeah, you're very audible.
Okay, so
Yeah, I can
Pi
understand you.
Shield get the car, which is I bought for $10,000. I get the 5,000 pi. So what would I do with the 5,000 pi? That's mine, right? The 5,000 is pi is mine already, so I can do anything with it, right? Do you agree or you don't
But
agree?
I know your mindset are always on the centered on the monetary value of the pie, isn't?
No, no, no.
In
Wait,
other
hold on.
words,
Wait, let me explain. Let me explain further. Okay, I received the 5,000 pi from Pi Shield, so that means I can do anything with the 5,000 pi, right? Do you agree or you would not agree to it?
if
The,
if
Yeah, I
see,
I, I agree with you.
the
Mister
5,000 pi
Mister
is mine. I sold my car.
Wait, let him learn. Let him learn. Let him learn. Okay, Bonafide can
The
continue.
5,000 pi is mine, right? I sold my car for 5,000 pi. So the pi should be mine right now. Right? Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay,
So
so that
okay,
means I can
Bonafide.
do I can do anything with that pi because it's mine already. Which is I sold my car. Pi Shield can do anything with that car.
Okay. So what are the possibilities of what you can do with your pie? That's what I'm asking you. What can you do
Exactly.
with your pie
We
now that
can't
you
do
have
anything
five
about it
thousand
because
pie?
it's this centralized.
okay. Welcome, Mr. Baron. We were actually waiting for you before you joined us. What we
Hi,
actually,
good evening. How are
yeah,
you?
we're doing good, sir. Thank you very much. What we actually want to get
Thank you.
into this discussion this evening is how we can get this piracy project liquidified. Understand how we get liquidity in the apps if they are not yet listed on decentralized applications. Do you understand what I said,
Okay.
Mr. Baron?
Yes, I do. Okay, so let me start with I think I'm gonna run us through a little bit of background. I think most of us do know, but um I think if I run it, you will understand where I'm going to if we talk about pi. So if you go back to 2010, which was the first time I heard about BTC, Now, after the pizza transaction, BTC was, people who mine BTC sell them for all sorts of amount, right? So it was in the process of that liquidity entered into the ecosystem. As at that time, I do agree, as is the case, that BTC is already decentralized. But let's take it down to Pi. Pi, when we look at that time that BTC was there, BTC has limited people who know about. So the ecosystem is not large. People don't know about it. Even as a matter of fact, in 2010, when my friend in Utah was telling me about BTC, I thought he was joking. And then I think I did a trade that I said, even a few years down the line, I did a work for some people that wanted to pay me 2,000, I think 2 or 3,000 BTC as opposed to 3,000 euro. And I thought, that was absolute madness. But then let's come to where Pi is at the moment. Pi has one of the largest ecosystem at, those who are active. Now, when we activate those who are not active, you see that it has one of the largest ecosystem at the moment. Now, one of the things that you will know as far as any project is concerned is that there are people who will be willing to be part of this project just to mine it and sell. There are people who will be there just to keep it as store of value because over time it will make money. So once you have this combination of people as they are in the ecosystem, open up the thing. Because, for example, somebody who has the highest person who started to mine Pi for probably early 2019, because it actually started in 2018, up to the point now will not get maximum 4,000 BTC, 4,000 Pi or 5. And if you lock even 50% of it, which is maximum, you'll end with 2,000 Pi. That's if you get everything that you mine, because they've not started distributing the ones that people mine through their referral system. So once you have that type of project, you open it up. There are people who will sell their own. There are people who will buy. There are people who keep them. Immediately people start to get the value or the idea that if I have 1 Pi, I can get $1 out of it or $2 out of it. Liquidity has got into the ecosystem. Now, there are people who will now over time say, okay, I don't want to sell my own. I just want to give you to hold for some money. After some time, I can return that money back and get the Pi back. That's how you start. But to say that the whole idea of general consensus value, it's not going to be ideal. The other one, that if that system has been like that, because of the trade and the volume of the number in the ecosystem, decentralized exchanges are bound to list Pi. That's how I think they would have done it. But haven't left this thing over time. People are already losing confidence in the whole thing. I think it's not a good idea. That's what I was saying. Open up the thing. There are people who want to sell their 100 Pi. There are people who want to sell their 5 Pi. There are people, everybody have different type of problem. But if you say, again, there is no cross-border. Cross-border is actually a little bit difficult at the moment. So if you restrict people to only use it for trading of goods and services, it becomes a problem. That's what I was trying to point out there. Thank you.
Yeah, it's well understood. But actually, Mr. Baron, the actual explanation you have about the PICO team building a liquidity or it coming through the community or the users is actually what is abstract of in my own records, because when there are problems about a company's liquidity, you're not just capitalizing on the company's strength or strategy as at the moment. You have to capitalize on what is the strength of the company, how many staffs can they be able to employ. Okay, when you're able to come out with the number of staffs, you can be able to still ask what have are these staffs achieving in their own work aspect. What are these staff achieving at this moment? You don't have to just be putting the as in the task or all the jobs on top the core team to be the ones to do the work, but the actual users who are supposed to also bring us a value are not actually doing the exact what they're supposed to do. That is actually the sole aim of everything being in a backsliding moment. Before, I think Lou came up to talk something about the trades and how trades as in bring liquidity into the ecosystem, which actually, Mr. Lou, I want you to still say something about the liquidity aspect that we were discussing before now. Thank you.
Before Mr. Luke come in, let me just give you a little bit of idea as to what I think that the core team would have done. And it's quite simple because the only app that we have at the moment is the Pi app and the Pi browser. Okay. So all they needed to do is to create like a mini marketplace. That mini marketplace, because that is the only way you can, you can protect pioneers not give it, because if pioneers trade out of that Pi control app, it's going to be a problem to actually track people, or people will now fall scam of fall foul of scam. Other projects do use what do you call it, they use Telegram as a trading platform, but I think that the core team just needed to create a marketplace or an exchange platform within the browser, and then create a little bit like arbitrators where things happen. So if I agree with you on what you're going to give, and you agree on what I'm going to pay, and then we exchange, the core team have a holding account that you put the money, if this person get his money, and that's, I think, is just to start. If you start, there will be other pioneers who will now jump in to be as intercessors, or arbitrators or support team, and before you know it, it's a large ecosystem. Things will work. Mr. Lu, over to you. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Lou, are you there?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was texting with my wife. So okay, so let's talk about liquidity, right? So who amongst us can add liquidity to Pi, even at like 10 cents? Do you know how to do it?
No,
Yeah,
you
that's a
can make
good
a brief
question.
on that.
Actually, we can, but since Pi is centralized, that's why no one can do it. That's why we're just gonna keep going selling things, in circle, but we will not create a real value to it because the money, the pie that we have will not circulate. It's just gonna be like, okay, I got 5,000 pie from the Kia that I sold. Then what do I do to my 5,000 pie? I just have to keep it and wait until wait. I've been asking the Pico team to give us at least a straightforward, honest answer to the roadmap of Pi Network. When are they gonna launch it? How are they gonna add liquidity to it? But they were dodging all my questions. They never really answered it. Like, so I told him, I asked Crypto King all the time because okay, well, just to give you a little bit of background, I was in this uh developer chat room where all the Pycore team are, they're there. That's their chat room for the developers. So I always we had a discussion, how are you going to add liquidity to Pi, and he told me I can't post a screenshot because it's going to be a violation. I'm for sure it will spread. I asked him, "How are you going to add liquidity to Pi?" And what he said, he told me, "Okay, in the future announcement, we will add this information on how are we going to add value to our liquidity to Pi. But until now, we haven't seen anything." And I asked him at whose expense it is to build the Pi network ecosystem. Again, he never answered that. So people will continue to uh, let's say risk their finances to sell something for five, to add liquidity, to add value, but actually we're not creating value. It's just we're just going in circles. I just accumulated a lot of pie last time when I sold a lot of things uh, using the Bitgana market in the Philippines. I got like around 300 pie. But I used all my investment, my money to do that. So now I have 300 pie. That is supposed to be mine, right? Because I sold my my goods for that. But I can't do anything with it. With pie, it's just I'm stuck with it. It's not circulating. So that's why I said to Mr. Baron, but now I'm on your side, sir, that it's not gonna do anything. It's just gonna be stuck. People will just waste their money and investment because we don't know the future. The parkour team is not telling us what's gonna happen in the future. We don't know. So that's why
Um,
no one can add any.
yeah, Mr. Lu, I think the problem with the PICO team is the fear of dump. That's the problem. PICO team is afraid of dump. But now, because I'm experienced in this thing, and now it's my field, I work, I understand how these things work, both the legal aspect of it. That's why I'm saying that what they needed to do, this close mainnet, is the problem. Open it up, right? Now you begin to monitor the transaction that's going between pioneers. Over time, I'm going to give you 6 months, you will see decentralized platform with plugin. There are people who hold BTC, who hold other projects, who don't want to trade it. They just want to keep it as store of value. Some people think in 5 years is going to be a good amount of money. There's a project that I hold almost maybe 50,000 of it. I've been holding that project like almost a year plus, and I'm thinking about only to liquidate it maybe 2026 or 2027. That's what I'm thinking about. All the money. So there are people who have that thought process. There are also people who believe that because I mine this thing free, though I spend time to it, I just want to exchange it and collect, whatever it's worth now. So if core team open up the mainnet and let people, the ecosystem that's pioneer trade among themselves, over time, decentralized exchanges will plug in. But remember, core team said they are not going to apply to any decentralized exchange to list Pi there. So decentralized exchange will only be interested based on the transaction that's going between the core team, between the pioneers. And then, even if we are making a cent or, a fraction of a cent from these transactions will make money. You begin to see ecosystem. And in those circumstances, decentralized exchange could say, okay, well, they don't want to buy from PICO team because PICO team is not willing to sell. They said all Pi must be mine. They could decide to be collecting from pioneers who are willing to sell and then start to regularize the market to keep it at a rate that what they pay, they can make profit. So this whole idea of building the ecosystem, building utility before opening up is actually making pioneers to lose trust and confidence in the project.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bonafide, which project did you? Sorry, which
Wait,
marketplace did you trade in?
at Clubhouse, please. I have something for Mr. Baron and Mr. Lou at the same time.
Okay.
Mr.
Okay.
Mr. Baron, you made a very nice and clarified statement about the basics of how cryptocurrencies are being drawn, the basics of the algorithm, how they are being played. You made a clear and logical explanation of it, so the basics can even key into your idea. So what we're actually saying, Mr. Lu, I used to work with the network investigation team, the Pi Network investigation team. That was why we come up with the idea of Shield. So we are about fighting all the malware or sort of illegal transaction. That was why we can tell you 100%. You can see an account that was said to be banned for 100 years for in Biden. I tell you that those are just the logics from the community, as in to instill fear to people not to be able to make some kind of crazy transactions. They were not the right image from the Pi network app. It was actually scripted. So these are the basics which you've said about building liquidity, but you have not directed these basics to the point where the people that are having the force fought to achieve what is being taxed on them. That is from the community developers, those coming for the hackathon, those attending the hackathon and winning the hackathon all misinterpreting every information with the old ideology, traditional ways of cryptocurrency. What happened in BTC is completely abstract of what is about to unveil in Pi Network. Pi Network is in more advanced formula, and in other words, they're not just being advanced in technology, they are being advanced in security also. That is why you have to KYC before you can be deemed an average individual. And now people are saying that the old miners were not able to have KYC, this or that. It is as a result of their interaction with some information of the past. That was why many of them were not able. Some of them passed through the pilot KYC, and the pilot KYC was like a test net of what the KYC is. So some of them interacted with it, and the ledger was not able to have accurate information about all them that have already interacted with it. So the ledger was like, okay, let me start a new book. So anybody who has already done it, once you come, you won't be screened. You will be like placed in a separate list. That was why people have issues of KYC, and we are talking all sort of things. And you know, when you know what we're working and what is centered for and what is actually going to do, you don't have to listen to what people are saying. So talking about the issue that we have with building liquidity into the project is we shouldn't be referring to the core team. Let's just be directing our own ideas and thinking towards the work that the community are meant to do, because it's actually through the community. But the community are lacking the sense because they were not able to have structured, as in drawn their own roadmap. Because PyCore team drawing a roadmap is like it's like bleaching the art. Roadmap was a story of the past. It happens during the Web 2. Web 3 don't do roadmap. When you delve into Web 3, you have to understand that roadmap is like a loophole. So they made away with roadmap in the Web 2, and Pi Network is a Web 3 project in that aspect. So if we like push Pi Network to the wall, there is only one thing that will happen. Pi Network will deploy its contract on a Web 2 platform, and when it deploys its platform in that sense, it will only try its best to go up. It might not even beat Ethereum, it might not even beat BNB. It will launch on a Web2 platform, same way that Core did. I was talking to people about Core, and I told them that Core is not what they think that they are until Core was mimicking its own ideology from Pi Network, where it can't wait for Pi Network. Core has to list on its own, and it lists, and the same thing that we talked about him is the same thing that he's done now. He's deployed on a Web2 platform. And if we pleasure the Pi core team, which I know that they've already sidelined their idea of communication, because roadmap and constant communications are like loopholes in Web 2. But during the Web 2, people gained through it. People that got the information about it, they gained through it. But when you want to delve into the Web 3, you will know that constant communication and roadmap are like loophole to the project. It will just bring out all the plans of the developer. So there won't be nothing to expect. And that is one thing the PyCore team are just against. And the issue about communication, they keep still and keep holds or mute on that. Pi Clubhouse, I think I'll yield the mic with time. I will still explain more.
Yeah.
Pi Clubhouse, your hand is
All
up.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. Bonafide, I wanted asking which marketplace you traded with for 300 pi in the Philippines.
Uh, I use the bitkada.com. And are you guys familiar with the Saldis Cafeteria? Right.
I don't think I've heard of that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, go
Who
ahead.
Yeah.
is
Just
who is
just
the
a minute.
CEO of Bitkada? We don't know him. If it's something that we need to actually know. When you want to interact with a project, all these things are the basics. Who is the CEO? Who are the company behind the BitSCADA also? That's how we deal with Web3 projects.
Okay. Okay. So I want to reply to, or let me say, what Baron said. That I think the problem we are having here is the problem of perfection. I think the core team are actually striving for ultimate perfection here. Look, they are trying to like make this project to be something that we have never seen before, something that is yet to happen, and then they can't trust the community to make certain decisions. So if the core team has substituted let's say Fireside for a marketplace, that would have been a better idea. If they had created a marketplace that people can come in and trade, that would have been a good start for us. So I think the problem here is also striving for perfection. That's what I wanted to say. That's like one of the major problems we are having in Pi Network right now.
Okay,
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 Crypto Nation, you can.
okay, Pi Clubhouse, thank you. Please, Nation, your hand is up.
GM, yeah, GM guys, what's up? Pi Clubhouse, thank you for having us on your space today. GM, Mr. Eric Pi Shield, thank you for sharing this space. So yeah, I'm here to share my own opinion and my own view on everything the group.
Clubhouse, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think I can't hear Crypto Nature again.
Okay, maybe he might be having some network issue.
Yeah, I
Welcome to
think
the
it's
space,
network
Mr.
issue.
Benjamin. Oh, hello,
Yeah,
Crypto Nation. Can you go
hello,
down
hello.
and come up?
Yeah, I think he's having network issues connecting and reconnecting. So, Mr. Benjamin, good evening. It's been long I've heard from you. Good evening. Welcome on space.
Hello, good evening, everyone. It's nice having a wonderful chat and learning session with everyone. I hope we all are doing fine. Good evening.
Yeah, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much, Mr. Ben. It's nice having you on space here. It's been a while. No, you, the education is here, man. To- It's nice to have you around. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay. Parachute. Sorry to interrupt. Parachute, you made mention of something. You said the 100 years ban was scripted. I think you just passed by that. Like I didn't understand. Was it like the whole concept of you get banned for 100 years? Like it was planned by the court team. Is that what you're trying to say?
It's
To
not
scare
planned
the
by the
community
core
from
team.
being.
It was an edited image. It's not an image from the core team. You should
Okay.
quote me on that.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay. I get
Yes,
it.
it's
That.
an
All right.
edited image. So, right about now, people are being banned for violating the rules, but it's not that they are banned for 100 years. I haven't heard about that. So, you understand?
All right. Yeah. And
So,
also, Bonafide, the argument we had in the group, sorry, not an argument, the conversation we had, I think I was trying to figure out, although there was a bit of explanation, but I still want to know more. How would the core team know that they are trading for fiat or you're trading? Because every day, people are involving in peer-to-peer transaction every single day. So how are they going to differentiate between which one is traded for fiat or which one is traded for goods and services? So because I don't see any logical explanation to that at the moment. So is there any way you can come about that or solve the whole problem? So can someone help me out with that?
Okay, Five Clubhouse. I don't think there is no way for them to know about that. I mean, they cannot track all the transaction. Remember, the Pi browser is decentralized, and they can't know. There's no way to know. There's no way for them to know the if people are transacting it against the policy or if they're selling it with fiat. No, there's just no way to know about that. I mean, they cannot track it. That's why. But although I know, because a lot of people reporting telling me about all these transactions. But hundreds already is happening in China and Vietnam. Just like recently, someone told me that a lot of Chinese people are buying from the Vietnamese pioneers because they have a lot of duplicate accounts, like bots that had passed KYC. They were able to pass all this KYC. I'm not sure if you guys see the video already. I told them to share. I don't want it to come from me, but I want them to share it. Like hundreds of bots pass KYC, and they're just buying it. I mean, it's happening right now, but we cannot really.
Wait, wait, excuse. How is it possible? Can you explain that? How is it possible to have both pass KYC and the rest of it?
It's possible. I just saw the video. It should be on. I think on Vindicated Chidi's group on Twitter. Oh, I mean, we are here on X right now. On X, someone shared a video, and there is like a, I don't know, multiple bots that pass the KYC, and one of my friend in China told me that there's a lot of Chinese pioneers who is buying it already, and I know he made a lot of accusation against some of the big mall in China, but I still have to validate the the information. I don't know if he's telling me the truth or not. Maybe, but yeah, it's there. It's happening right now, and there's just no way that we can stop this thing. I mean, the Pico team has no resources to stop this. I mean, people will do things. This is, remember, this is financial. This is Pi supposed to be currency, global currency. So people will do a lot of things. Companies will do a lot of things to cheat. And there's just no way that the Pico team can trace them or can stop them. It's not gonna happen. I don't think they're going to use their resources to just punish these people or stop them. There's no way that they can do. It's happening right now. It's been happening since the in NIT period around 2019, and how much more now. It's been happening like everywhere. So there's no way that they can track this. There's no way that they can stop this. But it's just gonna happen. We just have to face the fact. We just have to face the reality that the reality that these things will happen. And still, you know, we can, as a pioneers, we can create a lot of value, give Pi value if the Pico team would just open the network, make it decentralized.
Okay, thank you,
I thought
Mr.
I
Lu.
I, I saw Eddie Cabas here. All right.
Mr.
Yeah,
Baron.
yeah. I think he left. I think he left. He's at work also.
Hello,
Yeah, I
Mr.
think he left.
Baron. You connected?
Yeah, so I think I think what's actually happening in Vietnam and China is because they do have a lot of population, so they took advantage of that. There are people who aren't interested in who are not mining. So if you there are people who have multiple mining devices, and then they will get somebody to pass the KYC for them. So you cannot see it's multiple. You could say it's one person per account. It's just that one person isn't interested. He was just used to pass the KYC. So what I think also, it's the reason why I think the general consensus value of this ridiculous amount is being pioneered from China is because, of course, a great proportion of these pie is stuck up there. But again, does that really affect the entire the entire number of pi in circulation? No, pi have a constant value in circulation, and then quite frankly, perfection to me is what's the problem. Of course, if you study in Stanford, you will know why your reputation is very important. If you want to do something, you want to ensure that you get to the very best. But I think that's not the way to go about it, especially when you have, people who are very much worried, are impatient people. So if you do not make them see value for what they have been patient all this while spending their time, interest will wear off. And that's what I think it's the problem. So PICO team, of course, as Lou think it's the appropriate thing to do is to open up everything, open up the thing and begin to build the system and goes on to it. For example, personally, I haven't passed YC. First, we were part of the people that were tried, during the pilots. It's very early I think it was early 2020, and then there was a time they introduced the YOT system as well, which we do pass through that. By the time we come, they say, well, YOT cost money and they want to do it absolutely free. All those times where I'm stuck in the whole system, I cannot pass KYC. But I still think that the core team should open up the system. People who want to do all the communities. But the thing about when you say communities should build their own trading platform, how do we now, secure people? Because if it is, if the trading platform, which will give a pioneer the opportunity to trade within themselves, is not monitored through the PICO team, I think it's going to be a problem, of course, unless, of course, we have to operate through the system of what we call what do we call it? We call intermediary, where there is somebody who act um as a escrow for people who want to transact. So that way we can start to be, to put liquidity into the ecosystem, and it will work for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Baron. That was a very nice enlightenment. That was very nice enlightenment. We're still discussing how the liquidity are being built into the ecosystem through the community. Okay, Mr. Benjamin, we see your hand up also. You can give us your enlightenment too.
Okay. So first of all, contrary to general opinion, the Pi Core team can actually fish any kind of transaction that is going outside their protocol. The only thing is that if they choose not to, then pretty much is them having a rethink. The reason is because there's pretty much an algorithm powered by artificial intelligence, even by Google. So it's simple. They can query BigQuery from Google, and pretty much Google covers the Android operating system. And there's also a similar artificial intelligence query logic with Apple, which covers the iOS. And this is the simple logic. I think the maximum currencies that we have are no more than 350 currencies in the world. I stand to be corrected. So pretty much a query logic between pi and 50 variables is going to fetch you information from all data intersects, and pretty much all these applications running on these mobile operating systems can be gotten. It's just a matter of data identity management. Now, if they choose not to, then pretty much is them rescinding on what they want to do or what they don't want to do. But if they choose to go, now one thing I don't know is pretty much if in their bylaws they can go that extra mile, of which pretty much before you even have the app running on your phone, you should have agreed to those bylaws, even though pretty much none of us actually read to the detail of what are the terms and conditions with the social Inc. as the entity ushering the pie and everything around. So that's just one thing I want to make very clear. As far as there's anything running in any operating system, any data that has been generated, there's a thread on it. Even if you do and you delete it, a thread is created, and we can use that thread to recreate that data, even if it's pictorial or motion, not even text. So pretty much to generate a text data is pretty much like very easy. So I just want to make that very clear that it's technically possible. The only thing is maybe if they choose not to go that extra mile, then no problem. They can just request. I don't know how much it will cost them, but pretty much from a service equipment manufacturer, OEM, operating equipment manufacturer, OEM to OEM, Pi to Google, Pi to Apple, pretty much Pi to Meta, which is Facebook. It's pretty much a two-way communication, and data can be generated, and it can be pinpointed to the ID behind those things. Even if you think you're smart, your smartness will just get you caught. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is pretty much on the premise of the discussion that we are doing. I think virtually everything everyone has said is valid, most especially the yearnings and the concerns of the community. The only thing is that we have not have a complete knowledge if the core team subscribe to the service niche, the use case niche that we all are clamoring for. All we are clamoring for falls under the use case niche called markets, whether it's centralized or decentralized, closed or open. As far as has to do with the concept of exchange, getting value when you give in one currency for the other, is market. Now, do the core team in their vision, in their planning, do they capture markets? Pretty much their language is pretty much utilities. And this is where there is a big hole in the communication. Honestly, I'm not among those who are pretty much frustrated, because from day one, only feedback on utilities gives me the idea whether we are close to open mainnet or not. But looking at how it has created an uproar, pretty much I'm beginning to think probably the enclosed mainnet shouldn't have come at the first place. Pretty much we should have been in kind of like testnet, so that we would not have that feel. And that feel would have, I come from a biblical worldview, and they say that when hope is delayed, they said the heart gets sick. So I kind of feel that many hearts are sick, kind of. Then the next thing that I really want to do is pretty much how did we get the pie? There's a high sense of entitlement through airdrops. When you do an activity and you're rewarded with a token, pretty much like a thank you for that activity, there is an entitlement that comes with it. So pretty much I do not know if it was right for the core team to have created a user base through an airdrop strategy, even though behind literally they call it mining, but technically it's pretty much an airdrop. And beside the airdrop, beside the what's the right word, the entitlements that come from the airdrop, there is also the tear and wear that comes from those who took an honest decision to spearhead something tangible in the enclosed mainnet. Now, outside Pi, pretty much is virtual services, even in blockchain projects that pretty much have a sense of utility. It's pretty much virtual. Even the layer one protocols on Ethereum, the Arbitrum, the Solana, the Polygon, pretty much all the dApps are pretty much virtual. Pretty much a little bit close to gaming. And outside gaming is virtual. No real thing, no real deal as it is. And the things that are pointing to real deal, real payment in a global scale, whether it's MoneyGram to Stellar, or it's PayPal to Ethereum, or it's Visa to Polygon and stuff like that, they are still on the blocks. They are still behind the scene. So I don't know. I think there's a huge hole of misunderstanding from the two divide. the community at one side of the divide, the core team in their vision in the other side of the divide. I still think it's still not going to be a market use case, no matter how we look at it, except they go back to the drawing board and either include markets in their use case or change the use case from a utility that we can now think is going to be like donkey years to come to market that is pretty much tangible. Tangible in the sense that market is the real biggest use case in the crypto industry. We had metaverses come like a boom, but it's pretty much a Web 3.0 eccentric use case. So pretty much they are back to markets. So pretty much until when Web 3.0, it's like in advanced stages. We have Internet of Things, we have machine learning, artificial intelligence, and we begin to see transactions from one device to another device, not you effecting transaction on behalf of a device. Right now, what do? You make payment on behalf of a device. In Web 3.0, devices will come with their operating system. They will be identified with an IP address. They'll be identified with a MAC address. So they will have pretty much units or chips or coins in it, and they are pretty much smart on their own. So pretty much one device can initiate transaction with another device through a blockchain, and pretty much it's gonna be smooth. So those use cases is pretty much what is going to be useful to what we want to do. Else, I pretty much don't see how we can get the core team into kind of like fueling a temporal market experience for us. That's just what I think.
Okay, Mr. Benjamin. Actually, that was a very long speech, contrary to for a while we have been actually discussing about liquidity and the rest. But I will get back to you with some of the questions based on the speech which you have actually delivered just right now. So I will call on Mr. Eddie Kabas. He was here already. So Eddie, welcome to the space.
Yeah, okay, sorry to interrupt. Eddie, I got a message from Eddie. He said he can't join now, that he will just listen.
Okay,
So
he's having network issue. Okay, Mr. Benjamin, I don't know if anybody has something to say. Mr. ABC, I think I say hands up too. Can you hear me?
yeah, I think ABC should go ahead, and I'm shocked to even see someone else here. Pi Cameroon is here. Good evening, Pi Cameroon. Can you hear me?
If I can't see him, he's having network issues.
Okay.
I can't
Okay,
see
I
him.
think you can hear me.
ABC,
All right. So
can you hear me?
Uh, Pi Clubhouse, can you hear me now?
yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
you're
sure, sure. We
audible.
can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I've joined after a long time, so I do not know what we have discussed or not. So, see, I'm not going to talk about liquidity. What I'm going to talk about from a software engineering, background. See, whatever problem we are basically seeing into a migration or KYC is a fundamental, software engineering problem. You know, I know they have put a, very beautiful or very good technologically savvy, blockchain projects, but there are fundamental issue where I feel that there is lack of experience building user interface. So I'll give example to qualify that. I have been looking into chart, pioneer, senior pioneer. In hundreds of cases, thousands of cases, people are not past QIC because they have classified a document as a different kind of document. For example, you have selected during the QIC, you have selected passport, whereas, you have uploaded maybe another document, correct? And because of that, QIC is stuck. See, I'm from a very, very software, development background. It's very easy to fix actually. And I don't think the developer who are into the Pi project, I have basically connected to many of them. They're very good on blockchain side, but I think they lack experience on the user interface side. So on this particular example, I have given where you have given a wrong
classified a document in a wrong type. It's very easy to fix. Okay. In user interface, you should be able to basically create a button to basically change that classifications. It's very easy. I don't think core team is basically focusing on that. You will find this kind of system in almost all the applications. You do some mistakes, you as user will be able to, almost all the software will provide that. So this is, one example of, typical example where hundred there are a couple of utility which is very, very good, but ultimately this utility has to be, basically approved by the core team. And if they don't have that kind of experience, all sort of bugs will be there. So this is one example I have, given you from the, in by interface. Yeah. So there are several places, this kind of mistakes are there. Second problem I see, in the migration, I don't know how they are basically selecting the user for migration. I have a opinion that, I think they are selecting, they are not following the correct process, like once you pass the QIC and successfully completed the step 7, typically migration selection of the accounts has to be first, first come, first out. They are not following. As a result of that, there are users which are pending, their migration pending for more than 1 year, but I have several cases. I know that people have just passed the QIC, just 4 or 5 months back, they have been migrated. So that is also another, problem. So, algorithm wise, I don't think, they have also done the correct kind of things. I mean, see, if you are mining for last 3-4 years, core team should focus on that. They should prioritize your KYC and they should also prioritize your migration. That is the way, system should work, So this is 2 example. And because of that, I think millions of users, frustrated. And I'll give you another example. See, I have more than 1,000 earning team under me. Due to COVID and barrier, natural causes, correct? 5 to 6 people have expired. Okay, and I think that is also another big concern. By the time you will be able to pass QIC and migrate, many of the users they will not basically survive to basically reap the benefit of PI. So they are not even considering the age group. So there are several issues. We can talk about blockchain, we can talk about Web3, we can talk about lot of utilities. But these are the fundamental things. PI team should basically look into that. Okay, so that's all. Plus, there are similar fundamental flaw in the node. See, currently, if you are running in node in a machine which the core team has basically evaluated, okay, and suddenly that machine something happened to the machines. In a typical software engineering, you will be given a migration script so that you will be able to migrate from one machine to another. As far as the PI nodes are concerned, there is no way you can migrate those. So currently, my laptop, my node is 100% sync. I almost run every day, or sometimes I run once, continuously for 1 week or 1 month, and then I shut it down. Yeah, okay. But if my laptop somehow became inoperative, I have to, if I have to set up a new node, it was to be completely new machine and I have to start from zero. That is not the way, a software should be, developed. And this is all happening. I know there are very, senior developer within the PyCore team. but there is also a lot of junior developer. They are not exposed to the real IT, fundamental issue, user issue. Technically, I can see that they are capable, but they don't know how a typical user wants. And this is compounding because not everybody is technology savvy. People know how to operate, but people don't know how to use an basically newly developed IT system. Because they are not trained. When you roll out a new system, you basically train the people. So you have develop a system thrown into market without any training material. So there are several fundamental issues, and this is one of the reason the project status is like that. So that is my opinion actually. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, ABC. Yeah, I think you said something about KYC, and the way I see it, yes, they can solve the whole KYC and migration issue, but I see it as the core team are now using it as a tool to delay the whole process, because at the end of the day we will come to discover that, imagine, I don't know if anybody here has seen, okay, I think some people here have seen the leaked roadmap. There is now they are now dividing it into two different segments. There is V1 and there's V2. So if you see this kind of thing, you know that it's either they are trying to achieve perfection, that's why they are delaying the whole process, or there might be something else in which we don't understand, because all these things are simple things, just like ABC has explained. There are things that they have a lot of technical people in there. They can achieve these things. I don't even know where to start from. I had this issue recently with one of my relatives. He did KYC, passed KYC, and then went on for migration. When he got to the whole migration process, he applied everything, so everything was correct. But after the 14, is it 14, yeah, 14 days, he discovered that the wallet that he sent, that he put in, is not the wallet that is now appearing. So that's now like a technical issue that has cost him over 1,000 pi. He can't get that back because this is a blockchain. You can't now, the court team cannot reverse that. I don't know if there's a mechanism to reverse that. They can't reverse that at the moment. Like, these are simple things that they can actually avoid, but they still keep on keeping it. KYC is a simple process. Like today, I had to refresh. I had about 10 validation. I had to keep on refreshing my app because I need to verify people. People are out there to help, but I don't know why the whole delay and the whole technical issues are now popping up everywhere with the core team. So I think they still have much to discuss with us when it comes to communicating very well with us and letting us know what is the main issue on ground. Because we seem to be knowing part of what's going on, and then at the end of the day, imagine this, that the second part of the roadmap will still not be released, and even if later on next year we get to see the second part, we will still not get to have a specific date or have specific data about things that will happen in Pi Network between the next 1 or 2 years. Like it's as if we are stuck. That's the way I see Pi Network right now. See, the whole thing is stuck. Okay, Baron, you can come up and share.
One final thing before I go, and I think I need to warn everybody. The core team is not particularly good in, you know, announcement and giving up to date information. They are not. It has always been their problem from day one. If you join them at the earlier stage, now if you are part of the project, for example, like us that joined early in 2019, you will see that many of us actually joined it out of all odd because there were little information out there. There were bad publicity. I think I know a guy who dedicated a website just to talk bad about Pi, how it was scam, how it was this. And because of that, a whole lot of people did not join the project. You know, I think people begin to join the project when a lot of people started to say, well, there's nothing for you to lose. You're not losing anything. You're not paying anything. You're not. So expecting the core team to give you really, really detailed information as to the project is actually asking for too much, because they will not give it to you. But what I encourage everybody is, you have to just be positive about the project and continue to mine. Um, if you give me an opportunity to speak, or opportunity to make decisions, then I say we already have enough people in the ecosystem, and I think it's right to actually open up the ecosystem so that people can put liquidity in the system. But that's because I'm speaking from a point of somebody who is a pioneer, and who are looking at the immediate benefit of the project. And for the pioneers, or thinking that, well, we are losing some pioneer, but to them that actually conceived this idea, that has been working for it. You people know it started in late 2018. Many people don't know about this. People think it actually started in 2019 March, but it started late into, I think it's around October, because they were running what they call the beta version. So to them that conceived the idea and has been running it up to this point, I just want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and then continue to be patient. But a whole lot of people might lose out if they are patient, as people patience is wearing off. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Baron. ABC, yeah, you can go
Yeah,
ahead and.
definitely. What is your name, sir? Okay, Baron. Yeah, I agree. But respectfully, I wanted to disagree with one point. See, the communication information is very, very important. If you're running a project, and this is very serious project. We are not talking about 1 million people. We are talking about 47 million. Active pioneer. Yeah. So communication is very, very important. What the pioneer want? I mean, as a pioneer, see, my migration is pending for 3 months. What I want, if the core team basically just tell me that, okay, people who have, for example, complete the step 7, say in December 2022, their migration is ongoing. We are planning to migrate, January 2023, tentatively maybe next month. These are the fun. It's very simple information, and it is very easy actually. It's today's technology. It's very, very easy to give that information. You know, uh, so there are a lot of, they exactly know how many, KYC is pending, because of the wrong data, how many KYC are pending because of there are no validators, maybe, some country there are lots of validator online, some country, they are not validator. I mean, why they are not there? We need to understand the fundamental cause, because see, uh, validator is not there in online because they are not many people are joining now. Why not many people are joining? Because of various reasons. See, I have not added anybody after 2021 into my network because 50% people are not mining. Why they are not mining? Because when they talk to other pioneer, other new joining, they already know that KYC is not happening, migration is not happening. They don't have any, they don't know, basically when they will be able to, basically convert into fiat currency. Let us forget about the fiat currency. Okay, core tab has been very. See, that there are thousands of people are doing a scam, within Pi core, within the Pi ecosystem. You are not telling them anything. But if you put a comment, in chat, they will basically meet you. What kind of behavior is this? And you're doing that publicly in front of 47 million people. All of them are there into that Pi, chat. Is it acceptable? There one way. There are people who are looting thousands of Pi. I can give you wallet address there. These are all scam Pi. But someone has done something into the Pi chat room, and this is the problem. This is the fundamental problem. Until and unless, and this is one of the reason people are not joining. Going back to the information. As ordinary pioneer, I just wanted to know when I will be migrated, because if I am not migrated, no matter how much effort I put, you know, joining this 100 plus people, yeah, around 20% are still mining, I'm not putting able to migrate or not, because of this, if you see that, the rate of increase in the, active pioneer has totally flattened, okay. We have been, initially we have gone from 1 million to 10 million, in couple of months, from 10 million to, 30 million in couple of years. Now, we are struggling to go beyond, maybe, above 47 million. And I can tell you that, from 45 million to 47 million, not many new pioneers there. These are the pioneer who basically joined the network, long back, and they start mining. Those are the people who are basically active, you know. So I think this will be the way where I can tell you the 100 ET, in my entire network, there may be around 5,000 people. Nobody has, made a new account for last 4 or 5 months. Yeah, because of the problem. So the network has come to a peak until Pi core team is, taking care of this fundamental issue, which I have talked about, I don't see that, this network will, grow fast enough, Yeah. So that is another point. So I agree to most of the point you have said, but I don't agree to that lack of communication. It's very, very key. Yeah, communication very key. And this was not there when that Vincent was there, When Vincent left, communication became totally zero. Yeah. So that is my, opinion. That's all.
Yeah, communication is key. I do agree. I'm not saying that communication is not key. I'm saying that they've not been communicating. And of course, when Vincent left, if you understand, Vincent is like a market executive. They understand. So you're dealing with two classes of people at the moment. First, when Vincent was there, Vincent is a communication specialist. He understands the importance of communication with the community. Now, but Vincent is left, then we have two people who more or less are PhD, in Stanford. They understand only technology. They don't understand the image. I personally, I think they should communicate more, because the way you treat people when they were 3 million, 5 million, 7 million is not the way you treat people when they are 49 million or 47 million. So, but have they changed? I haven't seen any proper change from the last time that I know of their communication. So, most of the information that I do have or try and get is what because it's something that I understand where they are trying to go or what they are trying to do. But let's hope, and I wish that they can communicate more, because it will be for the betterment for all of us. I don't say I support them for not communication, or communication is not key. It's key, but you're dealing with people that has not been communicating, but they needed to change that system. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Sorry, I had to read through something. Okay. I don't know if Pike Ramon has something to say, or if anybody else has something to say. I think we have spent a lot of time here. We actually planning on just having a little bit of discussion, but I think at the end of the day, it was worth it. So, Bonafide, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, but I'm going to uh drive in a little bit. So give me let me just ask everyone about the. Do you guys remember the moderators strike? Anyone knows updates on that? Whatever happened to the negotiation or whatever that they're trying to ask the Pico team, or did they get the information that they want, or what happened to that? Can someone update us on that issue?
Um, I
I
don't know if someone. someone has a clue because I think was it you or Eddie? One of you, either of you made a post about that. And I think either there is something behind the scene that we are not yet sure of, or they have just sidelined the whole process. Like they have just brought in new people into the moderator this year and then forgotten about those ones that went on strike. So I think it's like a form of centralization that we are seeing here. Like it's a display of power from the core team. Actually, that's just the way I see it. Okay, ABC. Yeah, sure, sure. You can just
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think I can see two outcome of the whole debacle. Who is the moderator? Um, um, uh, that is what I have seen. Okay, I think one of the outcome is that you remember they basically halted the migration, correct? For 2-3 months, correct? Now the migration is almost a continuous process. Besides, I've been watching this migration for last 2 weeks. Almost it has been going non-stop. So that is one outcome I have seen. Okay. Second outcome I have seen, I think many of the moderators became most forgiving now. In a chat room, you can literally talk, very freely without any, repercussion. That was not the case. So I think moderator themselves also slightly became open-minded, So they now understood that there are a lot of pioneers who are, shouting in this various chat group. They had the point. Earlier, that was not the case. You argue with a moderator, they will mute you either from the chat room or, globally muted. Yeah. Okay. So that was the case. So I think this is a positive development, like when the moderator put a pressure on the, core team to expect in some, better way, they themselves also had to change, up their game. So that is one, two outcome, which is bit positive. One is the migration is continuous and there is a change of attitude among the moderator group. So beside that, I don't know what negotiation happened, but I can see the outcome. Yeah.
Yeah, and also moreover, I think during that period we also had what's his name? Raise United. I think that's his name. Yeah, that's his name. Coming up to challenge the core team about banning his post, and then the entire community saying that there is a lack of communication. I think one of the outcome is that we are expecting a roadmap from the core team that's to lead us to where next will go next. So I think the best outcome from all that was we got a roadmap, or we are about to see a roadmap, or any other way you can put that. So I think that's like the only positive thing for now from the core team. Other than that, oh yeah,
No,
and also the migration as well.
yeah, I think roadmap was a good thing. But I think the roadmap will not be time bound. Correct. See, and if you make a project plan, you basically set some milestone. Any project, whether IT project, construction project, social change project, you have the milestone sense. So tentatively, when things will be happening and we will be concluding the project. Correct. I have seen lot of discussion. Although they will be coming up a roadmap, it doesn't. They will not talk about dates. They will not talk about any milestone. So without those, fundamentally, it is not a roadmap. It will be another kind of white paper kind of things, but maybe slightly better constructed. That's all. So that is what on the roadmap side. But I don't know whether they will give us some date. But as per the discussion on the senior chat room, yeah, people are talking. There will be any dates.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, even the, I think Eddie. Okay, yeah, I mentioned his name. I think someone posted a leaked version of the Pi roadmap, and what I can see is that there is no specific date from the core team in anything. I can't send it here because we haven't verified it yet. But there is no specific date for stuff like open minute and the rest of it. The only one is when we have the next version of the roadmap and the rest of it. So I think yeah, we are still stuck. I think we shouldn't over expect from the core team. That's just the simple truth. Yeah. We shouldn't over expect because this whole roadmap has been hyped for like 3 or 4 weeks now. And we might get disappointed really, really bad that a lot of people might drop from the project. So we should just go on as normal and then not overthink the whole process as well.
I
So
think
that's just
also it's not more of people will be disappointed. It's more of the fact that they build a lot of castles in the air. They use the wrong scenario to interpret the wrong project. And because of that, when things are not adding up, definitely there's going to be frustration. They are pretty much different products in the Pi project. The one that seems to be decentralized is different from the products that are centralized. The miner app, it's not decentralized. The chat rooms are not decentralized. There are times in which it's like we're forgotten. There were times in which moderators were acting wild. There were times in which moderators were just doing as they wish. That wasn't also decentralization. So everything was pretty much we building from a subsect of the little resources that we have. And for me, I think, as I've said, there's a big hole of understanding from our side of the community and the core team side of the community. Else, the protest was pretty much not necessary. There is a strong need that you have to be defined. You have to tell us this. You should involve us. We are willing to give our expertise and things like that. When you go to details of intellectual property rights, when you bring somebody to offer you valuable service without proper documentation, that same person can turn around and seek for enumeration or something, and it's going to be a legal war. I personally have experienced that. Somebody who came trying to help, and before you understand, the person started giving us a fee, and it was a big lesson to learn. So we are pretty much adding a lot of things, and is bringing a lot of pressure on us. The truth of the matter is, as I have said, we want to see a market-oriented use case wherein we can instantly liquidate. The core team didn't say so. So while on this side of the aisle, we want something market-oriented, whether we're speaking the KYC language, whether we're speaking the open mainnet language, the motive behind our words is within the market use case niche. The core team is also not speaking that language. Until we agree, until we meet in the middle, and if in the middle it's a market use case, then you will have the freedom to move around with your pipe. And if in the middle it's still not a market use case, then pretty much we will have clearer understanding of, and we can now align our energies to what they are planning to do, which is pretty much utilities. But both sides, most especially we, the community, we just don't want to listen. We don't want to hear the utility thing. We want to hear things that is in line with our inner yearnings. Now, let's be true to ourselves. Who writes the ship? And right now, we want to rally around our noise. We want to rally around our numbers to force the core team to go market-wise. Is that the whole idea from day one? So pretty much, I think it's going to be a roller coaster, and I'm expecting to even see more of these moving forward. And until we both agree, we'll still be expecting them to give us definite time on open mainnet, and from their psychology, they understand why we want those definite information. While behind the scene, we are not even asking questions on how far are they going. These guys that have passed the hackathon, what are they doing? What support are the core team giving them? What is the roadmap for them? Pretty much, if we start speaking that language, the core team will now agree that we are inclining our hopes, our desire to partner or work alongside them in their own direction. Else, I just don't see how this will work. This is just my own personal opinion. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin. I think one of our recent discussion is what Paishu said about what's it called about fiat of the whole ideology behind fiat. No, I think in our last space he made in our last space he made what's it called? He made an analogy that inside Pi Network, most of these applications that are built by the community, even though they are not affiliated with the core team, but that if there was a system or if the use of fiat peer-to-peer exchanges was available, that we would have had what the community are asking for, which is having utilities, having these marketplaces that are running 247, like instead of having chat rooms and the rest of it. So if
Yeah,
we had
yeah, clubhouse. That was actually
that was
what we
actually what
discussed in our last
we
discussion, right?
discussed in our last discussion, right?
Clubhouse.
Yeah. So if we had such things, wouldn't that be better? Although I like what you said that what the community are thinking of is far more different, because I think in the last interview the core team had some months ago, I listened very well. I think they are very good at using the proper words. Nicholas himself kept on using the word that these applications are that of the community. So he attributed these things to the community, that this is what the community wants. Now, when the core team were asked about utilities from the core team, they specified things like KYC app, higher side forum, and the rest of it. So you might be right in the saying that the community might have a different perspective to the whole utility of a thing. The core team might be more focused on the Web3 and the digital aspect of it, but us we are more focused on the traditional aspect. So if only that's where communication comes in. If only they are open to this kind of discussion among ourselves, I think it will be better for us. So the main problem still boils
Exactly.
down to this communication.
I totally agree with you, and I really also agree with you with the need for and define not just some liquidity around these enclosed mainnet utilities. Actually, they needed that complement so that they can be successful. And if you can remember in my opening remark, I was saying that from all indication, it kind of looks as if we should have just been in testnet, not in uh, some enclosed mainnet sort of, because there is a lot of tear and wear. I think I used that word. There's a lot of tear and wear with these folks who have stick out their hand, stick out their leg, stick out their resources just to see that they make something tangible now out of it. Now, it has already been done. On the other side, I was expecting the core team to take a personal program to market, unveil, and showcase these potential utilities to to their cycle of influence that we, the community, don't have. Like they were influential to set up hackathons within the Ivy League universities, and pretty much that was a privilege to plug in the PyChain malls, to plug in the Pi workforce pools, to plug them in. Pretty much they are the utilities around us, the communities. But I felt that was something that was also needed in the enclosed mainnet, such that these guys should be having what we call real investments right now. When I mean real investment, I'm talking about some millions of dollars behind PyChain Mall, some millions of dollars behind Pi Workforce Pool, and the rights of them. This will expedite. Of course, it's going to come with sitting around the table and what percentage of equity will PyChain Mall let go for these venture capitalists and things like that. But for us in the community, it would have taken us further than where we
Can
are.
can you come
But
in?
hello.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
So for now,
So
that pretty much it's a community thing. That's where I came to the conclusion that well, we shouldn't have probably not have had the enclosed mainnet. But as I've said, there's a lot of frustration right now, and it's either the core team change their use case back to market, and we just start blazing our coins in Hobby and Binance, or they really stick their hands, tell us, hey guys, this is a utility thing. We're sorry. Probably we shouldn't have done A, B, C, or pretty much done A, not B, or we shouldn't have even done C. So pretty much just as Akil have clearly stated, some communications should be direct and should have helped a long way. But as out of all this,
Okay,
I see a conflict
okay,
of
Benjamin.
interest.
Benjamin, let me say something here. Please, let's all just be wary. This is actually a Web3 project that we are actually dealing with, and I want to cut you on. Hello, can anyone hear me?
You
Yes, you
can go
can go
ahead.
Yes,
on.
you can go ahead.
Okay. The open mainnet, and for a say now, enclosed mainnet is more of a capitalized project, a capitalized institute that was implemented in the Web3 space. Just like the KYC, you will know that KYC are Web3 advanced prototype, and you will know that enclosed mainnet are also Web3 advanced prototype, and you know that enclosed mainnet is like a bonus period where you go online, you throw up your project online, you throw it as per that is running on an experimental mode. So everything that will be going on inside the platform should be based on experimentation. So nobody's going to be holding anybody accountable of whatever it is or not. So now bringing it related to what we're discussing about the building liquidity as a community by the BICO team, it's simply just for sure that the community which are presenting this project, these dApps for as a utility platforms that the pioneers can be able to use. Furthermore, making more mistake in related to the information that was being delivered by the PyCore team, because when you let's just say, let's keep aside the project that the Pi network as a Web3 project that we've already tested. Let's keep aside it and check about other projects that are Web3 oriented. What are they capable about? What are they doing? What is more regular among each and every one of them? You find out that there is this spot that maybe some other project has given up their own project to go ahead of what Web3 is all about. But you see that they were in the Pi ecosystem. The Pi core team threw the opportunity towards the community. If you were able to build a project that can be able to look people, when you hyped a news about Amazon accepting Pi, Amazon doing that, you have to understand that people are much bullish on Pi network. you have that feeling that yes, people are more bullish. But the main question is that the PICOT team has given out these opportunities to the communities. And who are the communities? The same people winning the hackathons. And the opportunity should be develop a project which people are enthusiastic about, as in which people talk about this kind of big projects like this, and people trade on it, accepting all cryptocurrency. You can as well then do something like that with every other fiat, every other cryptocurrency. Then you can make your website subscription fee to be in Pi Network. It will make these people to love Pi and even download Pi just to subscribe to such websites. This is Web3 that we're talking about. It's not that the PiCon team doesn't know what they're doing. My own instinct, what it tells me is that if we can be able to come up with utility platforms which are able to pave way for the open mainnet to be unlocked, the PiCon team are simply going to deploy the Pi network as a project on the Web2 platform. So I yield the mic. Mr. Benjamin, I think
Just,
your hand.
you just said something very important. You see, Pi Network's practical definition of liquidity was service to Pi, back to service to Pi, or product to Pi, product to Pi. Pi was the currency. Now, outside the Pi Network's utility, whether it's Firestorm or KYC, the hackathon-based utility we have seen that could not just have a complete operation cycle from product or service to Pi, then back to product, then back to Pi, without the need of a complementary fiat. Liquidity, in our own perspective, requires some sort of fiat injection. That is not the liquidity in the core team's perspective. This is the conflict.
Can I speak?
This is the conflict.
Yeah, Mr. Henry. Let Mr. Baron. After Mr. Baron, then you can speak. I think Mr. Russo, though. Then you can speak.
Now, based on this conflict, a lot of established ecosystem utilities that are in the works, I feel if they had behind the scene investment, that would have supplemented for that fiat that they need, and they can do from the bulk of the investment that they have and still run a product to fiat, service to fiat model, so we can be onboarded just as the KYC to Pi, the Firestorm to Pi, product to service, a kind of a thing. But pretty much they are left to source for this investment on their own, and it's pretty much that is where I brought about the idea of the there and where. So even as there is a need for liquidity, I think liquidity in the sense of the core team is way more different than liquidity on the half of the community ecosystems.
Okay, Mr. Lu, you can add to the contribution.
All right, give me 1 second.
Okay, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right, so I just want to add to the conversation about the enclosed minute. Remember, I don't know for how long have we been doing this enclosed minute. I mean, has any one of you
By
ever thought about
clubhouse. Mute
asking where we at now when it comes to the maturity of the enclosed minute? I mean, we don't have any idea what's going on. Like enclosed minute keep selling goods and services for Pi during this enclosed minute, but is it matured? How do we know? Do we have any parameters, or how can we know that the enclosed minute has been matured, or it is matured? Or so what's going on there? So has anyone ever thought of asking that? I mean, any moderators here asking the Pico team about the issue?
I think there is a step to
That's all I
that.
want to add to that.
You understand, Mr. Lu? I think there is a step for that because there are stated values. The PICO team has outlined the needed fact for us to realize
As
that.
an ex-moderator, bona fide should have more updates.
Yeah, please let Mr. Henry go ahead. I
Okay,
think
I can speak.
he has his mic. Like, yeah, please, so that we can continue. Yeah, Mr. Henry can go ahead. Thank you.
Hi guys, hope you're all well. We're all pioneers at the end of the day. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. Pi Clubhouse, follow you. Follow Lou Bonafide, who is an ex-member of the moderators team. I've been waiting 8 months for number 8 on my KYC. Followed it for 4 years. Still don't think we've lost anything, and I still think we've got a long way to go. Hope that's okay. I'm from UK and I follow Rage United and a few others. It's a great community, guys. Come on.
Okay, actually, I don't know how we understand what you said, but
No,
that is a
I
contribution,
think,
though.
yeah, I think that's a great boost. To some point that at the end of the day, yeah, we are still one community. So, yeah, no matter what happens, I think we should just strive for one goal. In which I don't know what the goal will be at the end of the day. But anyways, pizza. Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you, brother. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you a bit.
I can't
Okay.
hear pizza.
I'm gonna roll up my window a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Okay.
can hear you. Yeah.
Am I the only
Okay,
one that can hear
perfect.
him?
Well,
Wow.
I think you may be the only one that can't hear me. You may have to leave and restart the space. But welcome, guys. My name is Mr. Shoemake, pizza delivery driver. Some may know me as. I'm a family and a brother to all pioneers. And Park Clubhouse, thank you for allowing me to speak. Now I want to go back to what Lou Bonafide and Mr. Ben said. We're talking about liquidity and we're talking about growth in the ecosystem. First, I want to say when it comes to knowing where we are in this closed mainnet, let's go back to what the mods were saying and what Nicholas Cocales was saying. Just a few weeks ago, mods were complaining and basically sending out a message saying that they need more growth in our ecosystem when it comes to apps and it comes to other things being developed. We're not ready. And what they were basically saying is, guys, we have over 100 million. We have 50 million, 50 million that are on this app daily, that are logged in daily. Most of these apps that we've created in the app hackathon, a lot of these utilities will not be able to support 50 million. They won't be able to support 50 million. We need a lot a lot more innovation when it comes to Pi Network to reach the growth where we want to go. And so when we talk about liquidity, they need money to create those apps. They need money to do these hackathons. And at one point, we had pioneers that were trying to divert their their mining apps from accepting ads. Let's start with the ads. The ads create that liquidity. When we talk about ads on the Pi Network app, all those ads, those annoying ads that pop up on a day in and day out basis, those ads create liquidity. Those ads create more extra money. It creates that extra money so that the Pi Core team can invest in other pioneers. We know that the pioneers they have to take a step forward and create more apps, but that takes money. A lot of this innovation innovation, a lot of the change that we're looking for, it takes money. And pioneers, we can't go against the Pi Core team and their innovation. When we go against their innovation, guess what? It slows them down. And if they're slowed down, the whole ecosystem is slowed down. We together as a whole pie, we're slowed down. And so what we have to do is again more education, and we have to build, and we have to try everything in our power, no matter what, not to go against the ecosystem. Because when you go against the ecosystem and the CT, you don't just go against the CT, you go against everybody. And so I wanted to throw that in there. Let's talk about liquidity a little bit. Those ads build up that liquidity. 50 million people with ads, that builds up liquidity. I'll yield my mic to Pi Clubhouse. Thank you for allowing me to speak, brother.
Okay, yeah, Bonafide, go first, and then I'll come after.
Okay, let me just say. Hold on, I'm driving. All right, let me just say quickly. So, with what Pizza, my brother, said about the ecosystem, it's actually we are going against it because the app, the people, the pioneers that they're building, we gotta really have to get a grasp of what is an ecosystem means. Ecosystem is it composes a lot of things. It's not just limited to app. People create apps will just support their local community. But that's not a real ecosystem because the ecosystem composed of like let me say carpenters, providers, builders, transportation, and a lot of things. And these are all already being given provided to us by a lot of pioneers. Like when you go to Vietnam, just go to China, uh, Philippines, Nigeria, and a lot of places. There's a lot of ecosystem there. What are we talking that the app we have to keep building app to build the ecosystem too? People will need to buy rice from their neighbor. People will need to carpenters to build their houses. They don't have to go to use the app to do that. I mean, these are the real ecosystem that needs to be supported by the Pycore team. No one will really invest their money, their finances, just to build the app and then no one can use it. Like we have seen a lot of apps already, but they're stagnant. They're not doing anything. So what's the point of that? Building the app. But we go to China, go to Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia. There's a lot of ecosystem that their local stores, bakeries, car dealership and everything. These are the real ecosystem. I mean, they are already existing. They are there. There are a lot of people supporting it already, but they can't do anything because there's no liquidity. And our mentality is keep building the app, so we could build an ecosystem. I mean, the Vietnamese people that wants to buy rice or food for their family will not just gonna go to the app to buy milk. They gotta go to the supermarket, to the superstore to buy milk. I mean, this is just the basic principles of the ecosystem. So I think we're going against it. It's not really, I mean, the ads that will provide liquidity, they're not actually providing liquidity, but they're providing income for the Pycore team because we have liquidity should benefits everyone, but there's no benefits for the pioneers and even for the builders of the app or the developers. They're not benefiting. I mean, they're not even getting anything. But the question is, they cannot sustain it because it requires money, it requires liquidity on their part to sustain their project and their app, but they're not making that. But the ads, the Piker team is the one getting that through the profit. You know what I'm trying to say? If there's liquidity, everyone should get the benefits of that. So that's what I'm trying to say. A currency will not circulate without liquidity, and it's not just limited to the application or to whatever we are building. I mean, the local ecosystem, the local community are out there. They are ready, but
Guys,
what are we doing? I think we're doing against it. I mean, just think about it. That's all I want to add.
there's lots of
Just,
developers out
just,
there, and there's lots of
just,
people with websites
just let
ready
me
to
say
go,
one thing
but they've
right
no
before
been
Pi Shield.
verified.
Clubhouse, I think Henry, are you having issues?
Yeah, no, no, I think everybody now speaking. Harry, please give us a minute and pizza. Okay, so I think after me, pizza will go and pie shoot before Henry. So let's do this. First of all, I want to I wrote a few notes. I want to reply to Mr. Benjamin. I think Pi Mall, sorry, E Pi Mall that's based in Vietnam. Sorry, is it Vietnam or Philippines? Yeah, Philippines. That's I think the CEO is Michael. He's running this external community as well. That's how he's raising funds for his project. So he, instead of offering the products only within Pi network ecosystem, is actually going outside as well, accepting fiat as well for this product. So I think that's another way of him creating liquidity for himself, or is it liquidity or like funds to keep the project running? And sorry, 1 minute. And also, um, pizza. To answer to what you said, I think the funds aspect of it, especially the ads, that's what we are using to keep the project running, not what we are using to maintain or sorry, provide liquidity. Because for all these developers, having this amount of developers in this project requires a lot of money to start with, whether they are advanced developers or beginners developers, anyone. But it requires a lot of money. So these funds, I don't know if anybody have cared to calculate how much the PyCon team makes from 50 million plus people, but these funds are actually used to service the core team. I think that's the main essence. So the moment we revoked against the core team is because we have been funding them and then we have not been seeing evidence of these funds. If they say they are working on a project, if they say they are recruiting new developers, we want to see this evidence on the KYC app, on migration, on on the PyCore team application to start with before even thinking of community application. So we have to see it. If you see the community retaliating, it's not that we disagree with the core team models or that we just want to see the evidence, just like you paying your government tax every day, and then you don't see what they use it for. So that's just where the problem started from. So please, you can go ahead.
Thank you, brother. Because I feel I understand what you guys are saying, and I completely understand that. I'm sitting at the same realm as you guys. Thank you for allowing me to speak, Pod Clubhouse. But this is where I stand. At the end of the day, let's compare it to a basketball game. In a basketball game, there's not an offense without a defense. If you get what I'm saying, there's always an offense and a defense. If you want a complete team, you play offense and you play defense, and you do a little special work. You do a little special work on the side, but all those things together makes a complete team. You see what I'm saying? And when we talk about liquidity, we talk about the investments from the pioneers, we talk about all these different categories. We need every category that we can get, because all that is going to make us a complete ecosystem, a complete project. And so you can't have everyone building stuff and the teams, not the CT, the people that created the project, can't make any money. It's not making sense, because just like you said, it's not going to allow it to run. And what's going to happen is now everyone thinks it's fraud. Now everyone thinks it's a scam, because they have to end the project because they can't afford it. They can't fund it. And I understand that people want to see it. They want to see what money the Pie Core team has coming in. You don't need to see that. The main point of the reason why you don't need to see that is because the ecosystem is not ready. We're still closed mainnet. We're not an open mainnet where we're exchanging fiat and we're able to make those dividends. We're still closed mainnet. This is still a test. They're still testing. I mean, we're still building. We know that we're past testnet. We're into closed mainnet, but it's still a test. We're not an open mainnet to where everything is set standard. And so, what does that mean? We need all hands on deck. Is what the captain would say on a ship. All hands on deck. What does that mean? Pi core team has to play their part as well as the pioneers have to do their part as well. It has to be complete even on both ends. And we understand that it doesn't seem fair because pioneers are putting all this money and all these different incomes together to be able to afford what they need, but we need a complete team. And we know that it's gonna make pioneers angry. This is a conversation that we constantly have to have. It's gonna make pioneers angry because guess what? This project is a long term project. We've only been in this. Most people have only been in this around 4 or 5 years. That's not long enough. It took a lot of projects 3 4 years, 10 years, 8 years. XRP has been in development the last 6 years. We can look at it from an XRP standpoint. XRP is just now getting their liquidity. They're just now able to give out information on who they're partnering with. They're partnering with more banks. That's what's building their liquidity. So when we talk about liquidity, we have to take it from all ends. Not and I understand it's just not from even though we're pioneers and we're only doing pioneer work, it's not just from a pioneer standpoint. We got to look at all ends, and that's one thing that I want to preach to all pioneers. Yeah, we understand our personal situations. We have to put our emotions aside, our personal situations aside, and we have to think about the project as a whole. And I understand there's more people that want to speak. ABC, Mr. Barron, you guys are next. I yield the mic.
All right, ABC can go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mr. Peter Delivery, I
Peter
agree
Delivery, I
what you are
agree what.
telling. See, everybody is on board, if there is 50 million pioneer who are active almost on a daily basis, they're actually playing their part. I mean, I can see that. I mean, I don't think, core team is basically playing their part. Yeah. Okay. If I remember in 2019 and 20, correct? I used to read every pages, every words, every sentence of the white paper. I clearly remember they told this will be community-driven project. And in beginning, it was like that, and I'll qualify that. If you remember when they were designing the wallet, core team basically talked to the, hundreds of pioneers in open platform, and they took their opinion, what kind of wallet you want. Do you need the custodial and non-custodial? And I think majority of them agreed that it has to be a non-custodial, and they have implemented. And I remember this is how the project should be driven. Core team has only engaged with Pioneer only on deciding the type of wallet. After that, when the project grew, they have actually forget. That is criticism I'm having. What is the problem? That this will be community driven, except that one particular instant, of deciding the type of wallet, pioneer contribution. Yeah, I mean, I know that on everything. Maybe, I know there is almost how many thousand people, correct? Yeah, but we're talking about 50 million, correct? 50 million pioneer contributing thing, So I think the core team has a moral obligation as per the original white paper to engage with us. And they are not doing that, Okay. Going back to the system, like we have talked about ecosystem, the fundamental core component of the technology is not even mature. I'll give you example. What is the core component? Core component is, whatever you basically see on your mobile and on a node. That means how do a new pioneer basically join into the Pi ecosystem? How do he validate his phone number? Yeah. How do he, basically very reset his password? Yeah. And do the KYC. Yeah. And finally do the migration. None of these components is, basically working fine. And what is, software, core and software, it was the utilities. This is where the problem is. Not there is a guy in India. I was trying to reset his password. Correct? Yeah. Okay. In 1 hour, he has done everything he wanted to do. He could not reset his password. This is clear evidence. When the fundamental reset password, correct? He has sent text messages. Yeah. And it was waiting for the response. So until they fix this fundamental problem, correct? The core component, and these are the only core component what to see in your mobile and what to see in your node. These are the core technology of Pi network. If you cannot make this work, no matter how good your other utility platform like workforce pool or Pi Breeze and so many, I don't think they'll be able to utilize their full potential. So there is a lot of what I wanted to finally say. I think the 50 million pioneer is actually contributing. Their every 100 million hands are on their deck. I think it is what the core team goal, or which is fair constructing
Constructing
criticism.
criticism.
In my opinion, when I see this fundamental core component work smoothly, like in whatever problem in the QIC, I mean, even if I submitted a wrong document, I should be allowed to basically, whenever I realize that I have made a mistake, I should be allowed to go into the of any decent software. So I mean, I don't think we're ready. Although we have been testing this, yeah, for so long, millions of pioneer, basically tested when they roll out, wallets. Now they are not doing that. There is so much transaction into testnet. Yeah, when we did the wallet testing. After that, I don't think anybody has tested anything. So going back to my statement, yeah, million people, both hands are there with the on the deck, but it is not the core team. That is where the complaint is. So
That is where
yeah.
the complaint is. So, yeah.
All right, Mr. Baron, you can go ahead.
Okay, so
Okay, so
here's what I can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that I've noticed over the time is that the core team is working with a very tight budget, and the reason is quite clearly simple. The core that is that is because of regulatory issue. People who followed the case of SRP and who understand the test laid down for what constitutes a security and what doesn't constitute a security under the U.S. Law, which we call the Howey test for security. You could quite clearly see that the core team is trying their absolute best to ensure that Pi doesn't fall within what we call is not caught up under that test. On those bases, they will have to, they can go to public to actually seek fund clearly on the basis of the project, because or they can do initial coin offering to raise money. And once you are faced with those circumstances, and again, people have talked about the 50 million people and watching advert. I think a great proportion of people are not doing that. Just very few people are doing that, I know, because there are some details that I've looked into. And you will begin to wonder, how do they make the money? How are they, how do they, is there really enough finance? Because most of the people working, they can't increase the workforce to work behind the scene, or they can't get very experienced people to build the project as we would have loved them to, or with the space that would allow them to, because of course the finance is not there. The last time that I looked at the document, I think was the 500,000 that was taken quite a long time ago. So if you look at those things, you can now know where we are as a people, as a community. Some people have actually said, um, from what I listened, there is one side of the bargain, which is community liquidity, and there's the pie team liquidity. Now, yes, it's true. If we want proper liquidity in the system, the pie team would actually have to sell a part of the project, a part of the pie to the decentralized exchange platform. Then they will have the liquidity, and that's what they are avoiding. It's clearly a legal issue, because if you're caught up within the U.S. regulatory and legal issues, it can be very messy with Gary Gensler trying to capture everything and that crypto to regulate it. So we are caught in between the devil and the deep blue sea. But am I convinced that we haven't spent a long time for people to start getting some benefit? I think the time that the pioneers have been on the project, from 2000 and probably a lot of people joined 2019 to now, that's 4 years. Now, give and take, let's look at how it's going to be next year. But so somebody pointed out something very important in this discussion, and I think that's where I also wanted to touch on. A lot of people are losing confidence, and one thing about this type of project is not about the utility; it's not about the use cases or the ecosystem. Is the confidence. That confidence is important, and core team must look at that confidence so that it doesn't wear off. If you wear off, you can build the best ecosystem best. But if the confidence of the people that are going to use the project is no longer there, it's going to be a problem. I think got him really need to do something very fast about the whole project. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Bonafet, yeah, you can go ahead. Hello, Bonafet, can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right.
As much as I love to agree with Mr. Baron, but I would like to disagree with what he said. And also, for pizza, brother, we can't really compare XRP to Pi, because every time we compare to Pi with other cryptocurrency, there's no comparison. Pi is not launched. Pi is centralized. We cannot compare it with anything. I mean, if you compare Bitcoin to XRP, yeah, that's fine, because they are both launched. People can do something with it. But with Pi, people can't do anything with it. So there's no comparison. Like, businesses, banks are adapting it into to XRP. They're using it, they're bridging it. Governments, nations are doing that because it's open. People can do really something about it. But with Pi, well, no one can do anything about it, so we can't compare it. So with what Mr. Barron said about the regulation and things like that, I think I disagree, because remember the Huawei test. I mean, only if the Piker team will sell their portion of their pie. Remember, they have 20 billion, something like that, of pie. But if they open it to pioneers, let the pioneers create liquidity, create value into it. The only problem, the SEC will go against any institution or persons or businesses with regards to cryptocurrency if they sell the large portion of their um, holdings, whatever cryptocurrency it is. But with Pi, I mean, I don't think Pi Team will sell their Pi, but let the pioneers sell it. Let the pioneers bring it to the exchanges and create liquidity. They can do that. And since the Pico Trim airdrop, I mean, distributed a lot of pie already to people. It's been distributed widely. South Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia, Nigeria, and like China, Philippines. People has a lot of pie. People can create a lot of things. Just give them the capability and the authority to do it. I mean, the SEC will not go against the Piker team. Hey, because it's been distributed to people already. People can do, if it is open, people can do anything they want with it, and then the liquidity will start pouring. You know, if it is open for me to do something, I can bring it to the exchanges and maybe sell it for 25 cents, and people will buying it. The value will grow, but nobody can do anything about it right now. I mean, like, dude, we're stuck. We're just going in circles. It's like people will not invest any money, or any developers will not invest anything without assurance from the Piker team that their investment will grow, or they will get the return of their investment. So it's just, I don't think the Hui test or the XRP or the regulation will apply to it, because the Piker team already airdrop faucet, distributed a lot of pie to people. Then let them do whatever they want to do with their pie. That's theirs. They mind it. Give it to them. Open it. I mean, they're entitled to their pie because they invited people. They invited their friends, their families. They mine together. Give it to them. It's theirs anyway. So what are they gonna lose? I mean, they have 20 billion pie. So let the people enjoy it. Let the people have it. Then whatever they want to do with their pie, let them. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, Mr. Benjamin, yeah, you can go ahead.
All right. So Lou, I've seen around $1 billion coins, and the capitalization was less than $100,000 in the coin market cap. And if you want to put the over the 2-digit billion pies already in circulation to the people, let them derive value. Pretty much value in the sense of one niche of the community will not translate to value in the other side, other niche of the community. What the core team calls value is not what you call value. And what you call value may not translate to mean what I call value. We're pretty much around 50 million. So pretty much there might be at least 50 million interpretations of value. And with that, how can we achieve our goal? That is the first thing. The second thing I want to add is based on that, I hold strong to what Baron said. It's not really much about the SEC, it's not really much about what you give for free. When the SEC steps in, is what has attracted a penny of the populace. If one citizen could spend a penny, that's where you're gonna get the attention of the SEC. And if they're releasing the coins to us, they might not even achieve 10% of the financial implication of the goal. That's the big grand plan. Now I'm talking about the Web 3.0 utopia, and we cannot achieve it. They will be left no option than to see how they can either pump what we have done, or pretty much look for funding externally. Getting funding externally will bring the SEC. And pretty much that's the reason why they want to go through a safe path until we have achieved compliance. And when we achieve compliance and the threshold is pretty much flexible and compatible, then can happen. Now, based on the 50 million people that we think is pretty much a hypothesis. Now, everybody should just have a little survey of the number of people who are currently mining alongside you vis-a-vis the number of people who should be mining. Is it up to 40%? Is it up to 30%? Is it up to 50%? So if we can use that as a template, what is a fair perspective of the 50 million that we are using as basis that can actually generate revenue from us? Use your inner cycle and have a fair perspective, and we all can come to a fair conclusion that pretty much we may not get much, because pretty much you can only get minimum of 2 cents to a maximum of $2 when you have at least 1,000 views. So pretty much divide the millions by 1,000 and pretty much you're going to get a number, then pretty much multiplied by 2 cents or multiplied by 7 cents, depending on the art. I'm using Google AdSense as an example. And when you use pretty much that, you now have a fair idea. Then pretty much have an idea what is the basic wage of a full stack developer. How many full stack developer can currently work on an application of a global standard like that? And pretty much we might now come to a fair conclusion and say we have done our fair share in contributing a significant revenue amount to the core team. Else, let's not be too early to hit the nail on the head or make such kind of statements, so that let it not give a wrong narrative. And by a wrong narrative, a lot of people think it's actually 50 million clicks or 50 million ad views that are doing. There are people who, I tell you, as soon as they click the miner, they know exactly that an ad will come. As soon as they click the miner, they shut down the application. I have seen it. So pretty much, do those people actually view the ad? Will that translate to revenue to the core team? So there are a lot of variables that you cannot come to a fair conclusion that is actually generating the XYZ set capital. And for this, we can say we as a community, we have done our best. I'm telling you from live from the field. And for that reason, let's not build a basis around that. I still hold strong to the opinion that we have a long way to go. And the only point where we will be smiling is when the core team changes the use case from a utility-based use case centered project to a market-based blockchain centered project. But as long as they want to make it a utility thing, we have to rally around them. We have to believe in the roadmap, and we have to put ourselves on the line. You guys do not know what complementary fiat have they invested from their own pockets. They cannot make it public. And we also have a little glimpse of what the hackathon guys are also going through from their own pockets. And I really appreciate one of the submission of the guy from Philippines on what he's doing to argument. Nobody can actually, that as laudable as it is, pretty much nobody can do it. And pretty much probably I now see reasons why the core team cannot stick their hand to pretty much connect a hackathon utility vendor or service provider with probably external funding partners because of the issue of the SEC. So our hands are tied from all direction that you see it, and pretty much we just have to work organically, work generic in a generic manner, and not create fraud, not create walls of divisions. Else, pretty much we will be here for a very, very long time. But as long as it's a utility thing, we have to redefine, reformat our mindset, unlearn and relent towards a utility inclined mindset. Else, we are not going anywhere. This is just pretty much what I think.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, five more. Welcome. ABC, do you still have something to say, or should give it to Paimo? Okay, I think he has network issue. Paimo Nigeria, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Good evening, Pi Clubhouse. Good evening, Pizza, Lou, and everybody on the space. I'm not going to say much. I just want to chip in on what Lou said. So, Lou, in the white paper, there's clearly a couple, you can see a couple of lines where it's clearly stated that it's going to be exchanged. Pi is going to go on the exchanges. when the firewall is removed. So presently now, yes, it may appear centralized, but please let's stop propagating misinformation that Pi network is centralized. It's going to forever remain centralized. That is not true. I don't want to read it word for word, but eventually we are going to achieve decentralization. Um, like somebody mentioned earlier, confidence is really important, and a lot of pioneers are losing confidence. Just here today, I was shocked to see that one of my ET members, who hasn't been mining for a long while, actually deleted the app. You know, when a user is deleted and deletes the app completely, I saw that today. And this is someone I've been trying to encourage, preaching the gospel. So, yes, people are losing faith. But at the same time, those of us who know the end goal of this project realize that it's not going to take a short period. This is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not going to be something that I'm going to cash out next year. No, there's a goal, there's a plan. Out of all the mobile mining apps and everything, this is the only one that really appears like having progressive vision and steps of doing something right to change cryptocurrency as a blockchain. Name any other one. You can mention B Star Network, like tons of them out there. They are not well outlined as Pi Network. So I think we should give the core team a break. Recently, we have noticed that migrations have escalated. We are seeing 50 million Pi coming and coming. As a validator, I can tell you things have changed. Something is going on in the works, and we just need to be able to support them as a community. I yield the mic and thank you guys for allowing me to speak.
All right, thank you very much. ABC, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely.
See, Pioneer will be always there. We have been always there from beginning of the projects. Yeah, I think everyone is playing their part. The plan is not, what what core team is doing or not doing. I think majority of the complaint is originating because of the bad piece of software. I mean, I just spoke few minutes back. There is millions of people who are stuck in KYC. You know, I mean, even if a pioneer made some mistake, he or she should be allowed to correct that mistake and resubmit. I mean, I give the example like, someone has chosen, okay, passport, and, by mistake, he has, basically, uploaded driving license, or the vice versa. In a software, it is so easy to change. They should just give as the moment a pioneer realizes the mistake that he or she has done, something bad, I mean, something wrong, he should be allowed to make the changes and resubmit. So I'll give example. I use initially I was verified by using a UK app called OT. Yeah. First time I did KYC among that first 100,000, and I got passed. And when the core team has introduced the Pi develop KYC process, I didn't get the invite almost for 2 years. And then I got lucky and I was able to submit, my new KYC past, I mean, and I could do that because I understand the technology. I'm bit literate. Half of more than maybe 50% of the, pioneer, they are not as, or technology savvy as me, correct? Many of them will be, very old. If you say demographic or in age wise, there are many pioneer who is above 50. I think there are many pioneer in East Asian country. I looked into their profile in Facebook, Twitter, and Telegram. There are many old people. You don't expect those people to be mature, should be able to, I mean, understand a complex piece of software and the process which is supporting this and do the right thing. So what I'm telling that you should basically develop a piece of software keeping your user in mind, a large number of users into Pi network, they have never, you know, um, done any mining. I can tell you that more 50% of the pioneer who have joined Pi network are doing the mining for the first time, okay? So that is where. So, the type of changes, type of correction, I am asking them is very, very fundamental, Any software developer would think like that. Okay, there is a mistake, how do you correct, I mean, you look into any software in the world, you will have the facility to correct this mistake. This is the problem, this is where, people are getting frustrated and people are not putting any more effort to basically recruit new team member, So, the complaint as, this is very easy to do that. Yeah. So that is where, people are getting frustrated, we understand what is blockchain. We understand how Python is giving. We understand, it has gone to, around, 230 plus country. We understand the complexity. Okay. And that is where people like me are still there, will be supporting. But I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the other, maybe 25 million who are using, who just know how to use a mobile first time. There are people from any developed and underdeveloped country where you hardly get mobile network. You're hardly, and you have to put, I remember one cases. There is a pioneer in Nigeria. He told me he has to walk at least 2-3 kilometer just to click that lightning button. So that is the majority of the Pi, ecosystem stakeholder. I think technologically we have built a complex piece of software, but we have not kept the requirement of more half of the pioneer, and that is why people have confidence. So this is not the pioneer. There are a lot of promoter of the Pi core team. I'll give you example. The Wes Spencer, yeah, is into technology and he has a direct contact with Pi core team. Wes Spencer is to produce so many videos educating people onto Pi network. He does a fantastic job. I think I can guarantee that because I have listened to so many YouTuber. Wes Spencer, 90% is technology savvy. He's understand blockchain. He has been into the market. He has not spoken anything for last almost 6 to 8 months. Or earlier, whenever there is a major upgrade or major thing happening, OS sponsor is to publish a basically YouTube video, correct? And his was almost 20 minutes to half an hour video. He's not doing anything. So it is not only that Pioneer is lost confidence. There are a lot of other promoter or Pi network. They have also lost confidence. The impact is huge actually. If you really think impact is huge. So people who have probably 100 plus earning team, you can just measure yourself how many them are actively mining. I can guarantee less than 50%. Yeah. So that is the impact. You are more than 50% of the people, they have not seen, they are not able to visualize the end of the tunnel. And they even don't know, even if they can visualize the end of the tunnel, they don't know when that they will reach. So impact is huge actually, So that is core teams should be able to, appreciate that, and able to resolve this, fundamental IT issues, Forget about migration. Yeah. And the another complaint is this randomization. You cannot select a person randomly, you know, for KYC. That is just not, there has to be some system, there has to be some logic. If a pioneer is, mining non-stop, for, around a year, you should be able to select them rather than selecting randomly. No, that is not the correct process, So there is a lot of, fundamental thing, which is probably easy to fix, but they are not doing that, and because of those fundamental things, lot of people are losing confidence. Forget about the, value, GCB, fiat, those are issues we can tackle on. Yeah. The primary, in the core challenge is to how this keep, this 50 million pioneer or 100 million, accounts you have created. How do you bring back those? How do you make sure that they come up, and mine daily? I mean, it's very, bad state of affairs, to be very honest. I mean, I understand IT. I have spent all my life into IT, build software, which is globally used. I understand the complexity. But complaint is not. Complaint is fundamental things, very easy to fix. They are not even fixing. So do they realize the impact? I don't think. Yeah. So that is where the complaint is. It's
All
my
right, thank you very much. Yeah, Pizza, you can go ahead.
Wow. First, I want to say what a beautiful submission from ABC. A great submission because that's something that we all needed to hear. What a great submission from Mr. Ben, Paimon, Nigeria, Lou, Mr. Barron. And it's a situation where we're all singing the same song. You know, we're losing confidence in the pioneers. Who is that on? That's us. We're supposed to be community leaders, and we're supposed to bring these people up and educate them. What when it comes to a situation where we ask, the Pi Core team, well, we're not getting information. Yeah, that may be on them, but as pioneers, we gotta understand this is a journey that hasn't been taken by no other entity, and we have to understand that we have to open up. We're losing on the pioneer side. We say, yeah, this is a pioneer driven, you know, um, ecosystem, but we're having a lot of negatives. And I've been in since about 2020. Once I got in and I got on Twitter, it's been negativity from the time that we've got into the time of now. We didn't have a wallet. Oh, there's negativity. We didn't have enough people migrated to with migration. Now we have about 5 million. We probably have a little bit over, but we're not doing enough as leaders to educate and spread this knowledge. Like Mr. ABC said, less than 50%. I can agree to that. I can attest to that. I have around 40, and I have just about 10 that mine every day, daily. It'll go up when good information comes out, 15, 20. But for the most part, none of us have more than 50%. We have to do more as leaders to educate, spread this knowledge about Pi. Yeah, we understand we've done a lot on our own, but it's a continuation. This is a day to day. This is something that you have to live. It's not supposed to be a job. We live as pioneers, and I wanted to let Paimon Nigeria go. You can go, brother. I yield the mic.
Thank you, Pizza. Like I think one of the earlier speakers said, the Pi network are circulated all over the globe. Coming up with popularity, liquidity, I think is the very least on my own mind because we can see one period in December when one exchange put off Pi, it became like a parallel, like a cascade, like four, five, six exchanges started listing Pi, OB, and all of them, they put up Pi with a price. It took the Pi core team a lot of strength to say, no, we are not flowing with the hype and we are dropping this even though our project is not completed. That shows there are a lot of giants waiting in the background. We have seen some posts about some of the mods talking that there are people on the charts watching our charts and we shouldn't put so much negativity and everything. He's not allowed to reveal information the same way they are holding back some information. They have some reasons. So, like Pizza said, we really need to start educating. I've seen a lot of pioneers not going about the KYC process wrong. Some people are confusing IDs. They believe national ID is driver's license is something else. That is what we're supposed to do. At the end of the day, when Pi comes to open mainnet, Nobody's going to beg Amazon, eBay, or anything to start saying, oh, we have people that hold this kind of thing in 230 countries. What did the Binance chief say the other day? People, once you have a kind of cryptocurrency that has an audience, I think Pi is the largest silent giant of the crypto space right now. Over 50 million people, according to them, are holding this. Don't worry about that. Let us create utility. I'm so concerned about utility. Everybody wants to dump their points. Okay, it's $45 today. I become a 100,000 six-figure US dollar. Let me start spending the money. No, Pi has to have value. The hackathons are there for a reason because when it comes to the exchange, people might want to dump their Pi. But for some of us that choose to hold, like it's a 50-50. And I also want to mention one point. Everybody noticed that when you were doing the lockup mechanism, there was 2025 for a reason. And I saw that before I chose the configuration. Why? I said, okay, this thing is going to be fully matured in 2025, but I'm going to use 50% to see what is going on. Consider it like an investment to 2025. If you logged up to 2025, you hope to see your pie by 2025. So what is the rush in 2023? I yield the mic pie clubhouse. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Bonafide, you can go
All right,
ahead.
thank you, Pi Clubhouse. Okay, let me add something about the education. I think there is nothing more to educate pioneers. I mean, the KYC is just it's just a straightforward thing. I mean, it's not supposed to be hard. I mean, like what ABC said, if you made a mistake, then you should be able to redo it without any hassle or without any like I mean, I don't know. For I think I've KYC'd like 10 times already. I continued my KYC. I have to do it tomorrow, but it was not an hassle to KYC. It's supposed to be smooth, and just like what ABC said earlier, that they're not fixing this thing. Why? I mean, I was just wondering why. I mean, when it comes to the people losing confidence um, to Pico team and Pi Network, because it's the Pico team who brought it to themselves. I mean, they never update the community. They never said anything. They don't want to give assurance to pioneers. Like I've been asking people, I mean pioneers. I've been asking all the time, what is in it for us to continue mining Pi? They don't want to answer that. Like, what is it in it for you to mine Pi? They don't want to answer that. They don't want. They don't have answer for that. So then, people that don't have a deep knowledge, or they're just here because somebody invited them, if their family members or their friends invited them, they're not going to be interested. Like, who cares? you know I have a lot of, like, my coworkers here. I was saying something, or doctor said they don't care. Uh, I just delete my app. There's nothing for me here. I mean, that's the thing that the Piker team needs to address. They have to address what is it in it for the pioneers to continue mining Pi. When is the open mainnet? When are they gonna release that? I mean, these questions are very easy to answer, but we're not getting the answers. So people will lose trust. People will just, oh, hey, okay, so they're just mining our data. They want us to KYC, but for what? For what are we? Why are we doing this? Why are we giving my data to them, and then in exchange for what? The pie that has no value. So there's a lot of people. I've met a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people regarding this issue. I didn't don't They don't want to give their information, which is, I would not blame them. It makes sense. The Pico team never assured the community uh, about the future of Pi. Instead, they put a small disclaimer that the success of there's no guarantee that Pi will succeed. Like, they put that out there so everybody could know that, hey, the Pi network, there's no guarantee that this project will succeed, right? So I think when it comes to education, it is the responsibility of the PICO team to educate people. I mean, as a community leaders, or I mean, there's nothing more to tell people. Like, what are we telling them? Like, hey, you're gonna be a millionaire someday. Just keep mining pi. No, that doesn't work anymore because people don't believe that anymore. I mean, it's been 5 years, and like I've been saying, it's been 5 years, and they're still struggling to come up with the roadmap version 1, version 2. Like, what is it really in it for us here? Like, what are we doing? Why don't we just keep continue mining, pressing the button every day, inviting our friends for what? I mean, I've been asking this a lot of times, moderator, Pico team, but no one could give an answer to this thing. It's a simple question. When is the open mainnet? Give the timeline to the open main. This is the only project that doesn't know the timeline for the open mainnet. I mean, you guys understanding me? I don't know, but come on, this is just a basic knowledge, basic information that every project has put it out there. Open mainnet will complete this project here. We're gonna do this, and this is what's gonna happen to this project. This is what we're gonna do, but that is absent with Pi Network. The Pi Core team is not giving us that information. So what are we gonna educate our pioneers? You start with KYC. You have to do it again, just like ABC said. It's an easy fix. I mean, we've seen a lot of developers, and these are from Stanford. They have PhD. They have employed a lot of good coders, good developers on their team. I guess the KYC is an easy to fix. I mean, a lot of companies created their own KYC, and we have not seen this kind of problems and issues. So I just want to add that and bring that to everyone. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Benjamin, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So I just want us to pretty much put ourselves in the driving seat and let's brainstorm. I agree that the KYC is really not a problem. But what if we had made the KYC a little bit problematic? Just thinking out loud. Now, we have been looking at the development from a technical point of view, and we have not exhausted all the technical resources that the core team have. There's a significant aspect of the technical process that has to do with computational human anthropology. Technically, it means using programming logic or using algorithm to study the way humans behave. And who are the humans? Pretty much the community. Now, what if, now this is you and me, let's assume we are in the driving seat. We are the one who have the stake. We are the one that if it works, is for us. If it doesn't work, we're in soup. We're in deep shit. And what if from sufficient data based on computational anthropology, we now see that a significant amount of those wallet owners who have been migrated to mainnet, pretty much who can do whatever they can do with their coins, are not doing the right thing. That's one. The bulk of the community, or a significant percentage of the community, are spreading fraud. This is human activity. Or pretty much even moderators are pretty much inclining to the fraud. Will you roll out KYC like easy? This is an intellectual property. It's your project. It's your stuff. And a significant stakeholder you've brought in subscribe to fraud, spread fraud, and pretty much have clearly made statement consciously or unconsciously, because pretty much Lou have just said it. Some people say even the reason why they are kind of like shutting down their account is what they don't care. Well, the core team care. And if the core team care and you don't care, which should override the other? I totally agree with the fact that from a technical concept, KYC shouldn't be a problem. But what if we are who have made the migration a little bit problematic from an anthropological perspective? Because all of a sudden, There've been backlogs. There was this time that there was what we call the mass KYC. A threshold was lifted, multiple KYC was done, and pretty much they are stuck right now. The little that we can gather is pretty much they want to filter through how the validation was done. Even in the midst of that, there is fraud and fraud and fraud till the point that we have reached where we are. We keep asking questions, not caring about the intellectual property aspect of the project. We're just asking questions on what's in for us. Pretty much when we ask what's in for you, Nicholas, pretty much is going to make it kind of like an equilibrium. And pretty much we can now come to some sort of reasoning. But I'm just using the writer, what if? Because we have talked a lot about the technicalities, and I think we have we have been blinded to the computational human anthropological aspect of the project, wherein they are keenly listening to how we behave. Pretty much it's more of like a social experiment, and how we respond and how we behave is pretty much valuable data. Now, if you are the driving seat, now I'm not speaking for Nicholas, neither am I speaking for Fen, but if you are the driver in the driving seat, why should you roll out KYC like Scooby Doo? Why should you do that? Now, I'm not supporting it, but I'm kind of like redirecting our minds to show that from a human perspective, we are not doing better either. That's just the truth. We are not doing better either. While technically we expect the system should have been seamless, we on the other side, we are not seamless either. We are making it difficult. We are spreading fraud. We are subscribing to divergent opinions. And there's every tendency that when this piece of a pie comes to open mainnet, except they have a fall safe, it's gonna go into a different direction of roller coastering. Now keep that to our mind while we redirect ourselves. With this, I think I can say, Lou, there is still need for education because we are not yet started. With the thought that is still going, no, we are not started. We need to educate and educate. 5 years for you seems too long. Probably for Nicholas, is pretty much in his 14th year or 16th year. And he has given that. So if you're pretty much tired, how about him? And if you still believe, then what was your intention, original intent? What was the whole idea about you being here in the first place? So pretty much, I totally agree. It's not pretty much hard, but pretty much probably we are the one who are making it difficult. This is just an opinion about me, just out of the box, and I think probably is a worthy submission. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, I think I can see Brian here. Hello, Brian. Good morning.
Yo, yo, yo,
Yo,
what's up,
yo, yo,
everybody?
what's
Let me turn this
Let me
down.
turn this
What's
down. What's up, Brian?
Everybody, can y'all hear me?
Everyone, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, sure, sure. We can hear you.
What's happening? What's happening? I just wanted to come
I
here. I'm,
just
I'm glad to see everybody, actually. Man, this is great to see you guys now. Back, everybody back in swing. Um, I just wanted to educate a few people on a few things. I just wanted to ask a couple questions because it's like I hear even Lou. Lou, you my guy. You was a funny dude. Funny. I don't even know what side you on sometimes. I really don't. You just crazy. But some of the questions you come up with are legitimate. So I can't really say nothing about it. But I hear a lot of complaining like Pizza said. And the complaining is coming because people are waiting and they want to know what's really going on. Now we had all these other projects that everybody been a part of, okay? And they, oh, everybody talking about, oh, the KYC man is this, and they're so slow, and this is easy, and isn't this? First of all, this KYC is not like nobody else, no other KYC, okay? They don't have no other KYC has a human validator force. Okay, so that's stop all that. This KYC is like every other one, and it can be done the same way. It's not. They're giving pioneers jobs with this KYC. No other KYC that you've done or no other project has done that, and they aren't doing that. Pi Network was the first for all this stuff. Okay, everybody bit off Pi Network. And because they bit off Pi Network, everybody was a part of all these other projects. They came out. Where are these great millionaires at? Nowhere. Because the projects ain't doing shit. So the Pi Core team is doing the smartest thing for every single pioneer, and that is holding y'all shit for you. Because here it is, there will be some stores and people will be spending their coins. Today, I got a call from somebody that I just signed up, maybe, I don't know, 3 days ago, and they are in migration queue 3 days ago. They got one coin. Okay. So they are purposely doing this and allowing the newer pioneers with the least amount of coins to KYC because they know they can't recklessly spend them. Sure, Epimal, I love everything that they doing and everything. But the prices right now, if everybody was KYC'd, would it be fair for everybody right now to go to Epimal, Pi Mall 88 or whatever it's called? No, because they can't all afford it. The Pi Core team is making it so that everybody is equal. Everybody has a chance to spend the money. And no sense in this person being able to spend their coin. They got 1,000 coins, so that means that they should be able to purchase something that this other person that only has 100 coins, he's priced out of it because his his wallet only has 100 coins total for 3 years. But this guy has 10,000 coins, so he can buy up everything and stop the little small pioneers from ever being able to spend their money. No, that's not fair. Liquidity, you don't have to worry about it. That's why the price of Pi is so high. You don't have to worry about no liquidity. You ain't gonna need no liquidity because ain't nobody about to go in and say, hey, I need $50 million in cash right now. Just why? What you need to use cash for? Nobody's gonna need that. So they're gonna say if somebody wants to get some money with their Pi coin, yeah, turn in one. There'll be a lot of liquidity because everybody's gonna lock them up. Because why do you need $50 million in cash in your pocket? You don't. You only need a couple. You need a little bit, but you need access to it, which is what the Pi Core team has done. They gave you access to it, but you're not gonna want to spend it. Why? Why do you want to have $50 million in cash? It don't make no sense. So all these other projects that have come out and all that shit, man, ain't none of them made no motherfucking millionaire. Okay. I don't hear nobody talking about core at 30 cent or 50 cent or whatever the fuck. When it first came out, they were talking about 1,000. Look at it. Look at it. You want Pi Core? You want the Pi Network to run behind that shit? Hell no. I bet you the next people that come out is gonna be following the Pi Core team, like B and all them motherfuckers. They ain't just rushing out with their shit. That's why they the best. That's why they the best. You think people don't know that on B, they dropping NFTs to you every single day for just liking a tweet. They have, man, it's a lot of stuff going on with the B network. And Pi Network is doing 50,000 times more than them. Okay? So don't worry about that KYC. Stop comparing Pi Network. I don't see none of them other new free cryptocurrencies that people had are listed on Forbes at the top no motherfucking where, and Forbes ain't playing. So just know this ain't like none of the other ones. And long as we just sit and relax, we've done our work already. The core team, they doing all that retweeting for developers and all that stuff. People saying, well, it's developers that ain't gonna come on. Yeah, people that's already in the Pi network, yeah, they're already gonna have that. That tweet is for the 2 million followers that don't know about Pi network. Those are for developers that ain't here yet, that are sneaking in and been mining Pi and didn't know about it. Now they're on Twitter and this people are tweeting and it's going viral and they getting to see what's up and they coming in. Okay. John Cena followed my page. That was crazy. Fucked me up with that. Okay. So that means that more people are finding out what's going on. Okay. But I love y'all. Keep y'all head up and stop motherfucking being so damn negative about Pi Network. Be negative about them other motherfucking cryptocurrencies that came out and ain't gave y'all shit. I yield the mic.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. I don't know if anybody wants to engage in a conversation there, but yeah, I have this to say. Though I don't, I think it just skipped my mind, but Pizza, do you have something to say? I think when it comes back, I will say something about that. Pizza, you're up.
Yeah, bro. Thank you, Pod Clubhouse. Thank you, Pod Clubhouse. Go ahead and brainstorm right quick. I just wanted to say that Lou brought up a great point. Why? Why are you here? Why do you mind Pi Network? For many it was this reason. For many it was another. But why do you? If you came into Pi Network with good intentions, for those that came in with good intentions, they don't see no ill will. Pi Network is an easier project for them. It moves at a great pace. But if you came into Pi Network with bad intentions, or it may not have been seen bad by you, but it's seen by bad by most, yeah, you may find some difficulties in this project. We've seen crypto gurus. They came and they went because they're trying to make a quick buck. Leave the project, go to another. That's not what Pi Network is about. Then we go back to the white paper. Find the mission and the vision and find your why. And if you understand your why, you can understand why you're here in Pi Network. I yield the mic to my brother Pi Clubhouse.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, I think it just came back in and yeah, what I wanted talking about is purchasing power. I heard what
Hey, one more thing, Pi Clubhouse, before you start.
okay.
Uh I'm gonna show y'all how much I this is how much I believe in Pi Network, man. Like I was talking to Benjamin today and something popped up in my wallet. Anybody that knows anything about NFTs and does that really understand the blockchain. A lot of money popped up in my wallet today, and I'm going to invest half of that shit into the Pi network. Okay, I don't know how to get it yet. It's real. It's on the blockchain. Everything. I just need somebody to help me figure out what's going on. And Benjamin will tell you what's going on a little bit. I can't really explain it because I don't really understand it, but that money is going towards and if somebody helps me figure out what's going on, whatever project needs some of this money from Pi Network, I will be uh contributing to it as far as the fiat goes, uh, uh the fiat part of it. So I just want you guys to know that I'm all the way on Pi Network. Somebody contact me and let's figure out how to get this done. It came from the B network, so I know it's real. And just help me and I will show y'all the power of Pi Network right now. I'm serious. I'll show it to you. I yield the mic.
Yeah, I think Victor from Five Bridge is also here, so maybe you can chat him up on that as well. think you have a clue about the whole wallet of it. So yeah, I'm just talking about purchasing power. You said something about everybody having the same, everybody being able to get stuff. At the end of the day, it's still the same logic. There is something called purchasing power, and that's money. Like if I have 10,000 pi now, and then you have 100 pi now, no matter the value that pi comes, whether it's 1 million or 2 million, there will still be something that I can purchase that you can't purchase. So I get the fact that you are trying to make everybody have basic things and being accessible to everybody, but Pi is the main three goals of Pi network is accessibility, usability, and security. So Pi network is secure for the meantime. Pi network is accessible to everyone, and then Pi network is usable for the 5 million people that have Pi in their wallet. They can actually use the percentage available for them. But the problem now, the issue here will come from purchasing power. Me and you can't have the same purchasing power. I know a lot of people here have more Pi than me, so I won't even talk about that. But we can't have the same purchasing power. So no matter the logic, no matter anything you want to come up with, someone will still have it's everywhere. It's in real it's that we have billionaires, we have millionaires. There is ranking to this thing. So if I have 1 million Pi or you have 10 Pi, you can't compare yourself with me. These post that the court team made about someone purchasing a car for how many per? I think 3,100 per or so. Yeah. I think for the meantime that there is no value, I'll put it that way, there is no monetary value attached to Pi network, then I see no problem wrong with that. Even the court team would agree with me that there is no problem wrong with that. Two people came into agreement, they created a consensus value for themselves and then they traded. There's nothing wrong with that. So purchasing power, no matter what happens, purchasing power will still be the major problem here. So we shouldn't try to make everybody have money or have billions or whatever. I will still have more money than someone that has 10 pi or 100 pi or so 1,000 pi at the end of the day. So that's what I wanted to say to Brian. And yeah, I think I want to go back to what I don't know. I think it's like um 12 a.m. here in Nigeria, but I still have to talk a bit. I want to go back to what Mr. Benjamin said earlier on, and when he said that the whole problem started from that they might we wouldn't have had what's it called enclosement in the first place to have just remained in a test net. I think in one of the recent interview from the court team a few months ago, but they said that they are taking a different route to start with. To me personally, I feel like the whole test net of a team, other projects don't do that, but Pi Network is doing that. I get to the point they are trying to be different, they are trying to do something new, and they are experimenting. But maybe these things weren't necessary. Maybe because why would you have test net? Because most companies or majority of companies out there they don't do this. Yes, I get. I don't doubt the fact that they are doing something different. They are doing something new, but they would have just created a system that because this thing is they are trying new things and people need to work with Pi, but they keep on trying new things that at the end of the day you might not use all these things. So if we didn't have this system, if they had used 5 to 10 years, no matter the amount of years, to build Pi, maybe we would have agreed the term of closed and open mainnet and the rest of it. It would have been better. So if they had done it the traditional way, it would have still been better. But I still get their point. They are trying um to do something different and experiment new things. So do sorry, Bonafide, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I just wanna I just wanna share with you guys actually maybe a little bit of inspiration. Well, all right, let me give my background. So I started mining Pi, but as I have said before, I probably stopped mining Pi about two more than 2 years ago now, or maybe less than 2 years. I don't know. It's been a while. So I started in June 2019. Um, the little bit of background. I was browsing the stock tweets. I was doing a day trading before that. I was browsing for stocks, and I saw somebody posted his invitation on the stock tweets forum. So I joined Pine Network. So all right, just to give you a, like, maybe I don't know if it's gonna be an inspiration for you all guys. I am here. Actually, nobody invited me to Pi Network. I just answered the thing and then joined. Use this invitation code. So then that's how I joined Pi Network. That's how I learned about Pi Network, and then I became moderator because a lot of questions. I didn't know that there was a chat room, and the people are chatting. So I joined. People are asking questions. So I researched, read the white paper, and things like that. And then I started helping people, and then I became a moderator. Actually, I'm the fourth. There was only English chat room during that time. The fourth moderator. First is Matador, Simken, and Neo. We're just four of us. So I've been here. I don't know. A while now. So okay, my only reason why I'm joining Pi is this mentality that I want a financial freedom for myself and for the people that I also invited to join the project, the Pi Network. And I'm not sure if you guys saw the video that I posted on X about Vince video. That's the only video that gives me some kind of inspiration because it says there Pi is meant to give billions of people across the world their fair share of the global economy. So that struck my heart. Like, okay, sure, I would join support this project. Pi is meant to give billions of people across the world their fair share of the global economy. I'm not sure if you guys have researched about the value of the global economy, or I'm not sure if you have a perspective about that. Maybe we should start doing that. But that's the idea I have received before. So that's why I said to myself, okay, I'm going to support this project. I'm going to do what I can to make this thing happen. So, long story short, I became a moderator, blah, blah, blah. And then moving forward to now, I have not seen any progress right now. Beans is gone. And, that's why I'm here. My only sole purpose, reason why I joined Pi Network is to become financially free. Maybe one day become millionaire. I mean, I don't have any other agenda. When I discovered Pi, I was, you know, uh, how would I say, trading stocks, and then I discovered Pi, things like that, and then I thought to myself, oh, maybe this is one way for me to become financially free, and also for the people that I invited to do, and for many other people. I don't know what your reasons, but I only have one reason. I've been telling this. I've been open to this. Uh, you know, Financial freedom. That's all. I have no other reason to join Pi. I don't. I have no any other agenda why I joined Pi Network, but just to become financially free. Also, I just wanna put a, put that out there, and you guys, hey, you can call me anything, but that's my own. You have your own goal. You have your own agenda, but that is my agenda. Financial freedom, maybe one day become millionaire, maybe Pi will become, we can do a lot of things. Just I've been saying this like repeatedly now. We can do a lot of things. Let just do it. Let the Pi team help. We can create value, like real value. Like, we can. I mean, I we can do a lot of things. We just have they just have to let us give the opportunity to do it. Like, open the mainnet, give the Pi to the pioneers. It's theirs. That's their Pi. They mind that they how do you say this? They are entitled to that because everybody minds their Pi. So that's yours. That's theirs. This is mine. So that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Benjamin, I'm sure you can go ahead.
Okay, so um, very aptly, uh, Lou was very correct about financial inclusion. and that was one of the base things about the main motive. But pretty much, let's pretty much trade with care. It's not actually in our terms, and since it's not in our terms, the whole idea of financial inclusion has not been defeated. The whole idea of global adoption has not been defeated. It's still on course. And pretty much at the end of the day, a lot is going to happen. I just want us to really, at this point, don't stop giving that quota of faith, that quota of belief towards the project. This is something that seeks to be eccentric to the startups and the many use case around the adopted Web 3.0. And I think most of us have well understanding of what it is. I think the only thing that we have is pretty much the patience, and kind of feel we're running out of time. But Lou, you will hit there. It's just that you just wanted to be 2023 or 2024, or rather 2022 last year. But still, you're gonna hit it. So let's not lose faith. I think the objective for financial inclusion is still on deck. The objective of global adoption still on deck. Let's begin. Okay, let me use this word. Let's begin to pretend like we buy the utility idea as rival to the exchange market idea. Let's pretend. Probably as we pretend, we're gonna get more informed around it, and pretty much we can channel our energies to see how things go. But my opinion about the Pi project has never wavered, even for a second. And personally, I look forward to seeing Pi as the blockchain adoption, or the blockchain kernel, the blockchain backbone for a lot of things that are going to happen. And it pretty much looks like the blockchain adoption, most especially through institutional investors, is going to come closer than we expect. I mean, look at what's happening within Russia and Ukraine, and how it has engulfed NATO and by extension EU. Pretty much, have we spent time to Google about the Versailles Declaration that happened last year? I mean, there's a lot of things that Europe pretty much is hit. Europe was hit. Europe is still hit by the energy crisis. So Europe is pretty much building a new infrastructure on how to manage energy. And one of the important backbone on utility or usage of energy is the payment gateways. Visa, MasterCard, Swift are using tons of energy just to keep their servers running. And the World Economic Forum is pointing the fingers on blockchain technology. Pretty much the language now looks pretty much private and centralized, but pretty much there are excellent energy efficient blockchains right now that will save Visa 99% of energy consumption, that will save Swift 99% of energy consumption. One of those blockchains include Ethereum, I think Cardano, I think Tezos, Avalanche, including Stellar, and pretty much Pi runs under that protocol. So what if we reach the point of a compliance, and compliance bring institutional investors? Let's not forget the whole crypto market is pretty much a little over 1 trillion. And I think Apple is pretty much around 2.8 trillion. Apple is close to 3 times the whole of the crypto market right now. If we want to build our hopes around markets as a use case for the crypto industry, we're just around 1 trillion. And an institutional investor like Apple is pretty much 2 trillion. What about BlackRock and the rest? What if we see the post adoption phase, where there is really um, a green go for PayPal on Ethereum, Stellar and MoneyGram on Stellar, and pretty much a lot of things comes into. That's when we pretty much see a, a quick change in perspective from markets to utilities. Utilities is what you will need every day. Payment gateways are constantly queried every second, every minute. And if they're going to use blockchain as a backbone, because based on Vaselis declaration, I want you guys to check it out. There are four main things the European powers are thinking. They want to have alternative energy and they want to build an infrastructure that will manage every kilojoule of that energy. So, pretty much, I expect the very electronic infrastructure currently running in most of Europe, they are going to be reviewed. We'll begin to have smarter electronics, energy consuming, less energy consuming electronics that pretty much have a chip, electronics that pretty much have an OS installed on them. That's the world of Internet of Things. And with Internet of Things, you cannot have the generic banking infrastructure as the payment gateway that will complement that new era of technology. Pretty much blockchain is better, blockchain is lighter. I mean, there are blockchains that from source to destination is 6 seconds. I mean, Western Union money transfer or Swift cannot give you that kind of transaction in 6 seconds. Pretty much, if it has to do with a cross-border payment, Swift can pretty much take some hours before it can reach destination. So a lot of insecurity around the world is pointing to global blockchain adoption earlier than we think. So I think, Lou, you might cash out sooner than you expect. So keep your hopes high and pretty much don't have a gloomy opinion. Probably not 2023, but definitely you will make best use of the 5 points. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Maybe to 2025 though. Anyway, okay. We have Victor up for the first time. Hello, Mr. Victor. Welcome. Okay, I don't think you can hear me, but okay, More Nigeria, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Hi.
Oh, okay.
Victor, go
Yeah,
ahead. Victor, go
yeah,
ahead.
Victor, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Yeah, you're doing great. Thank you.
We're good, Victor.
Yeah, okay. So I see many of my friends in this talk show, and thank you very much for inviting me as a speaker. Okay, this is a very interesting topic for the talk show today, and building a liquidity is very important for our pioneer community now. And you know that when I saw the twist of Big team, I have many I have many thinking about us, and you know that when Pico team gives a message to using your Picoin to exchange with the goods, especially exchange with the cash, it is a very specialist message for everyone, for a pioneer and for us. Okay, but in my opinions, you know that this will be many obstacles or many challenges in single countries where we are living. And I don't think that this is the right message for everyone, for every government in every country. And there are many cases uh, of using the Pi coin for trading every day, but each country will have their own laws, and we need to respect them to not break the laws. And we know there are the big scandal in Vietnam. That's in my country. For at least last 2 months, and that's the big event for GCV. Right? And that is that's it, the failed events. And after the events, many the leader must invited by the policy, yeah, by the police. And you know that in Vietnam, the use of cryptocurrency to buy, sell, and exchange goods is strictly prohibited. And I don't understand where, whether because they know the Vietnam law or not. But I think that you should be to buy and sell. That's we just buy, we just use Pi to exchange with the technology service trading or exchange with other cryptocurrency. This is the things that governments have not yet managed. And they, if they don't manage what they can manage, they can appropriate that promoting for everyone to use Pi to exchange. And that is exactly what we can do in Vietnam. And I can see that what it is exactly we can do in many regions in the broader world, but except the United States, except the Europe, because the Europe they have many the policies, and they strictly prohibited use cryptocurrency to buy to buy the goods or service like fiat, you know, yeah. And okay, and that for the liquidity, I think the liquidity of any asset is the measure of the value. And for any asset to have the high liquidity, it needs effective to turn such as the markets or the exchange. And we know why Bitcoin is the most value asset nowadays. That Bitcoin is the most values crypto assets. And the vision for that is Bitcoin. They have the support by the many exchange on the broader world. And I hope Bitcoin and Bitcoin team, they can open mind to support for Bitcoin. But the first thing Bitcoin team can support for everyone, for they can support for their community that they just manage, because everything for the B network now, they are ready to manage. And I don't know what is the reason, you know. And if they delay the manage, and delay, there are many startup blockchain. And I know that if I and my team, and there are many teams all around the world, would like to support, would like to join with the B network, and we building our service. We cannot do this, that. And I don't think any the project winning hackathon have the good support for the community, pioneer community, because they just support for only one service, that is using B to buy goods or service, or yeah, uh, good or service. And but that we know have any price for B. This is very difficult for everyone, and that's in my opinion. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. First of all, I think this man is a businessman because um we on the other side, we are complaining that we need it to be more of the marketplace aspect of it. Is also on the other side supporting the interconnection aspect of it. So I think, yeah, the sanction of a thing, the core thing, because it's also because of sanctions. Is it Iraq or Iran? One of those countries who got banned on Pi Network. I think it's Iraq, yeah. So this sanction, and Vietnam is like one of the biggest countries for Pi Network. So sanctions is like, it's not a good idea at this point in time. But anyways, good. I think I've exhausted most things. But I just hope that at the end of the day, because everything is important right here. It doesn't matter which aspect it's coming from. Pi bridge is like an important aspect of Pi network that later on in the future, if we have open minutes by 2025, we'll see the use of such um, platform on Pi network. But anyways, yeah, let's not forget. Mr. Benjamin, you made mention of something going on in Europe. Sorry, I wanted getting the name. I didn't really get it, so I can look into that later on.
Versailles Declaration. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Versailles Declaration. So it's pretty much around, I think, November, if not February, November 2022. So Russia's unprovoked attack on Ukraine attracted NATO to place sanctions on Russia. Russia now retaliated with a change in business terms to Europe based on their fossil fuels, their natural gas. So Russia kind of like was actually the biggest supplier of natural gas at the cheapest price to Europe all this while. So Russia changed their plans and said even if Europe want to buy natural gas from Russia, Russia is not going to accept dollars as a means of payment. Russia is going to accept their local currency. So that really hit Europe hard. They went through a lot of economic harsh. Don't forget that it not only with natural gas, it affected fertilizer. It also affected wheat, pretty much. So they now all the European leaders did what we call the Versailles Declaration. And in the Versailles Declaration, they highlighted four key things. The first is that they are going to devise an alternative power, energy, sustainable energy. Pretty much that's what has brought Africa into the limelight by virtue of uranium and lithium, and most of the countries that also produce natural gas or petroleum. And then the next thing is that they are going to accelerate the adoption. And thirdly thing is that they have to define an infrastructure for effective utility of energy renewables. Now, that is the key thing. By putting it the law that if we produce 10,000 or 10 terawatts of electricity, every usage of that watt must be accounted for. It means that they are going to ensure that equipment manufacturers begin to manufacture electronics that use the least electricity or the least power. It applies to all infrastructure operations. And one of the infrastructure operations that consume a lot of electricity are payment gateways, because payment gateways are open 24/7. Thus, they are powered by heavy mainframes, heavy servers, cooling rooms, and that consumes electricity. Now, I was told that the electricity that Visa consumes for all her transactions in a day is in terawatts. I do not know. I have to verify that. Tons of electricity. And a blockchain like Avalanche, a blockchain like Ethereum, when Ethereum shifts from a proof of work to a proof of stake, they reduce her energy consumption per transaction by 99.9%. So pretty much they have at least 6 to 7 energy efficient, or what we call green blockchains, already existing in the open ledger or in the open blockchain space that they can build their infrastructure on. What does it mean? It means that the migration will be gradual. But actually, a payment gateway like Mastercard, a payment gateway like Swift, a payment gateway like Visa can save herself the burden of keeping her servers online 247 and building her payment on top of probably a Stellar blockchain or a Pi blockchain or Ethereum blockchain, and the nodes in the Ethereum blockchain will handle the cost of keeping the gateway open 247. So pretty much it will cost them fewer electricity, which is pretty much part of the Versailles Declaration, and pretty much they can continue doing business. So pretty much that's why you can see that MoneyGram is already pitching her tent in the Stellar blockchain. In fact, as of yesterday, day before yesterday, the board, the developers of Stellar are now part of the board of directors of the MoneyGram entity. Not major, minor, and they made a statement, I think yesterday, even not yesterday, day before yesterday, and that they are in the MoneyGram entity so that they can give them advice on how to move the company forward. PayPal is pitching its tent on Ethereum. So pretty much we have Swift, we have the rest of the payment gateways, and pretty much their payment gateway across Asia, Middle East, and even South America. The whole idea is that the former way of powering business solutions consumes a lot of energy. And the World Economic Forum has highlighted the blockchain infrastructure as an energy efficient, transaction efficient option. So pretty much look at it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'm writing it down. I'm trying to look into that. Peter, you have something to say? I think we'll be rounding off.
Yeah, I want to say what a wonderful contribution from Mr. Benjamin. I wanted to add on, uh, if we haven't been looking inside the news, just within the last week or two, G20 had a meeting, and what was one of the main topics on the storyboard? Crypto adoption, crypto regulation. Hey, we've been in it for 4 years, but they're just coming out with crypto regulation, and it's a framework that's going to be used and pushed out around the world. And so when I look at it as a pioneer, I'm sitting and waiting. I'm holding on. What do they say? Hodl. Crypto gurus say hodl. I'm hodling. We're just now getting a crypto regulatory framework to be able to move forward, no matter if it's Pi Network or no matter what crypto you're looking into. But we've been in it the last 4 years. Take your time, research, educate, and push that education forward. Because when we understand the crypto market is only 1 trillion, just in the news, just within a couple weeks ago, they were talking about the crypto market is going to have to handle 100 trillion, and they said our overall basis point is going to go up. They're talking about over 130 trillion dollars, but that's for you to decide and look up. That's 30 trillion dollars more than the global market. And so we got to understand we're 1 trillion in. We're early. I yield the mic.
All right, thank you very much. Whenever do you have something to say before you round up? Because I think it's pretty late here to return to bed. So do you have something to say before you round up?
I just want to say, as I just want to, everyone, because a lot of people now they are really mad at me for some reason because I'm always open. They said that I'm criticizing the Piker team. No, I just want them to release the timeline for the open mainnet. That's all I care. I mean, 10 years, 20 years, I don't really care, but I just want to know. That's all I want to know. When is gonna be the open mainnet? When are they gonna open it? So that's all I care. You know. But I want Pi to succeed because I brought a lot of people to this project. I mean, I brought a lot of my friends, family members, and plus I wanted to succeed because that. like I said, I started in 2019. Already accumulated a lot of Pi. So even if I don't mine now, I will still have it. So yeah, I really want this project to succeed because there's a lot. I have a lot of friends that join this project that they don't have anything in life. Nothing. Just go day by day and things like that. And I want that. I want that to change. And I'm hoping because as being said on the video in 2019, Pi is meant to give billions of people across the world their fair share of the global economy. So I'm really hoping for that to happen someday. I just want to know when the Pi Core. I mean, I think it boils down to the accountability and responsibility of the Pi Core team. They have to let us know. That's all my point. That's all I'm been saying. And as soon as I know the answer to that, then I will probably shut up. But guys, I want Pi to succeed more than anyone else in this world because I mean I brought a lot of friends here, family members, and I have a lot of friends, relatives, acquaintances that have been mining Pi because they put their hope into this project. I don't know why, but they're really hoping that this project would change their lives, forever. I don't know, would really help them, elevate them financially. They will become financially free. That's why I want this project to succeed. So that's all I want to share. Thank you guys. Maybe next time we should do another what's this space. We should talk about how are we going to add liquidity and what are we need to do in order for the PyCore team to release more information, at least update us frequently. So that's all I'm saying. Thank you. Benjamin, thank you. Pizza, Fly Clubhouse, Brian, ABC, Victor. Um, who else? Everybody, thank you very much. And I hope you'll understand me. I know a lot of people are already mad at me, but that's all I want to do. I just want to know. I just want the Piker team to give us some assurance that we can hold on to, and continue to support this project. All right. Have a good day, guys.
All right, thank you very much. That's like the most positive words I've heard from Bonafide since I know him. But yeah, one of your greatest supporters. So yeah, ABC, do you have something to say before we round up?
Yeah, I fully concur with Love Bonafide. Whatever he said is very correct. Although we are very, very positive people, but we have our challenge because we need to answer questions raised by our downline, and there are many. There are many who have invested 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So as much as we demand accountability from the PICO team, yeah, we are also accountable to people because we have given some hope, and we have given some hope just by looking at the technology superiority of Pi. Pi is the only project we have invested so much time, and this is the first cryptocurrency. When I joined Pi, I know there is almost 16 or 17,000, cryptocurrency on the market. Except Bitcoin and few other, majority of them were scam, or quick money, yeah. So I didn't fall for that. There are a lot of things, which I thought, Pi will bring. Pi will, basically, it's inclusivity, and it has actually. I saw through the white paper of Pi Network that it is going to change the life of the millions of poor people only if they have a smartphone and there's a mobile network. So that is actually attracted me. Other is that, I mean, there are a lot of other cryptocurrency I could have invested my time with, but I did not. This is the first project I fell in love with because of the technology, people who are developing this. So I agree where Lai is coming from. Yeah, he's not talking about himself. He's talking about the friends, family friends he has brought into. Yeah. So I mean, I fully basically support this. It is not a negative criticism. It is a very, very constructive criticism, and and accountable is a good thing, correct? And that was missing, So that is what probably Lao is demanding. That is what people below Lao has demanding from him. So his position and my position is almost similar. But I can tell you that the amount of contribution which Lao has given, and there are many pioneers, I know them personally who have been coming to the Pi network, chat or, forum or spaces or, Telegram group. People have spent a lot of time, and those things will continue, and that is the hope. Yeah. And I also, just like Lau, and I also success in hope that Pi network succeed, and it is able to change, lives of millions of people, yeah, who have invested the time. Yeah. So thank you, and probably I have to say good night. Yeah. Uh, and I'll be there as long as the space is there. Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, thank you very much. Before pizza, before you say something, Janti, I just saw him come up here. I don't know if he has something to say. The last space he missed it, and I was so annoyed that he wasn't there. So, Janti, are you free at the moment? You have something to say? Because I think we are rounding up. We have been here for like 3 or 4 hours now, talking about Pi Network. Okay, pizza, go ahead. Do you have something to say before we round off?
No, brother. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you guys for being here as well. Blessings to all of you guys and your families. I yield the mic.
All right, thank you very much. And yeah, let's not forget. Okay, he's out, but me and Janti, we want to work on the project that we talk to grassroots merchants within the Pi community, people that are accepting Pi locally, just people maybe those that do it for car wash or anything, people that just accept Pi locally, and then we bring them up here, we talk with them and certain things, or have interactions with them. So if anyone is interested, just stay blue. If you're in any of our group chats, just chat to me and then I'll put you on as well. So thank you very much. And I had a wonderful time. I don't know for you, but today was great. Today we talked about a lot. Like I think this is the longest we have stayed, or I don't know if we have stayed this long, but I'm really happy that we had this conversation. It was just supposed to be a 10 minutes conversation, but it lasted this long. So thank you very much, Pizza, for always coming up. Thank you, Mr. Liu. Thank you, ABC. Yeah, I really want to thank ABC because it's been long I've seen him. He is the first speaker I've had on Twitter space. So I'm glad to have him back here. Thank you very much, ABC, and every other person that stayed this long. Thank you very much. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Before the end of the month, we'll do this again. Thank you and goodbye. Thank you.